Hello, and welcome to our once weekly show. My name is Michelle Marie, and I am both a Vedic and Western astrologer, as well as a tarot and oracle card reader. And I am so excited to finally introduce you to the amazing Jonathan. Welcome to the show, Jonathan, aka the Boomer Mill.
I'm the guy that's been squashing your comments in the back and trying to keep the world safe from trolls and, safe for the boomers and the non-boomers. So also I will mention, since I'm both flying the plane and serving dinner, there may be a lag at times, but we'll keep rolling.
Yeah, and Jonathan's his office is a little messy, and so we got a nice little yoga background for him because he actually does have a spiritual background. Do you want to share with the audience what your spiritual background is, what modalities you're into?
Sure. I will also say that in the few times that I've actually told everybody, well, I started doing this and then moved to that and the other thing, I lose people about the sixth career. So I'm just going to talk about the yoga career here. And so I'm 73 years old, but when I was about 20, I went through some processes that were very discouraging for young men in America at that time, and it left me just really depressed and scarred and everything else. So I started, I have a family history that's not good. I didn't want to go down that road of self-abuse. So I started looking around, if I don't want to crawl in a hole and start filling it with my own, blood. So what is another way to, I know I'm a little graphic too, folks. So this is PG-13. Um, what else is there? Is there a way to cope with the collapse of society? Sound familiar? The collapsed society around you and the things that you thought were in place are not only not in place, they never were in place. It's just a sort of a convention that's used to, keep people calm. So learning all that, I became discouraged and I got into some bad stuff, which fortunately I was smart enough to go, that's not the way out. And I started questing a bit and looked into some conventional things, and they were okay, but they weren't solving the problem. They were just like the same way that taking a shot of a drink solves your problem for 30 minutes. I'm not looking for 30 minutes, I'm looking for 60 years. So I started looking around at various modalities, and at that time, it was one of the many times, as it turns out, that yoga philosophy was sort of emerging into the West. And I went to, I was living in Chicago, Illinois at the time. Chicago, Illinois, you can find anything everywhere. So all the head gurus decided they were going to come through Chicago. And so I went to see this one, and I thought, well, that's a very wise man, but he's remote. I would just sit in an audience and listen to him. Okay, that's fine, but I need more than that. I need somebody to slap some sense into me, frankly, and or slap me out of the stupor that I was in. So I went to, I would say, easily a couple of dozen people that were passing through Tacoma. I took classes from them. I listened to lectures. I read their books, and I got a good grounding in Eastern philosophy, but nothing really made me want to go further. And then I got a book. Uh, I'm thinking, yeah, the first copy I had was paperback, and then later I got a hardback version. And Michelle has an interesting story about that we probably won't get to. But I got a hard copy of this, larger pictures. It was easier to do the postures. I started doing the postures, and I thought two things. This is real. This is something. And this seems familiar, you know. Now, I had dance classes when I was a kid, so some of the stuff is going to be, you can only bend forward, backwards, and sideways a few different ways. So some of it seemed familiar, but it was more than that. About that time, I see in a little local newspaper that this particular guru, Swami Vishnudevananda, was coming through Chicago because he had a center there, and he was going to be doing a lecture. And I thought, it's probably worth it's free. I'll go over. And so he has the lecture. It's like on a Saturday at 3 in the afternoon or something. And Swamiji was about 5'2". really rotund, and that turned out when people go through pranayama, they either get sort of chubby or they get extremely thin. Pranayama, breathing exercises to raise the energies in the body, and he was a master of that. So, anyway, he's talking, and I had been to a number of other spiritual leaders, and they're talking from their book, and it's like, oh, one must merge with the divine, and then if you do that, all your problems are over. But they weren't giving me turn left to merge with the divine instructions, you know. Swamiji said, you got to start where you are. And yeah, that was him, or young, before he kind of put on the weight from the pranayama. Anyway, um, I sat in that lecture and it was like somebody had plugged me into an electric socket. I was buzzing. And I went up to him just briefly after the lecture, which I hadn't really done with anybody else because either they were on a stage and you couldn't reach them or there were too many people there. But there were about 30 people there. And I walked up and I said, Swamiji, here's what I've been feeling and what do you think I should do? And he looked at me and said, well, come here and take classes. And he called the director over and said, this is Jonathan. He'd like to start taking classes. And he took me over and said, okay, sure. And he signed me up. And I mean, I think it was 5 classes for $10, which tells you how long ago that was. And I started taking yoga classes, hatha, that's the physical movements and such, but it also integrated, I would say, concentration rather than meditation, because meditation is a much deeper state than just being quiet and listening to your, thoughts. Um, I had an immediate reaction to it. I thought to myself, oh my God, this feels like a memory. Like I know how to, I did that position. I kind of know how to do the next position. And I look in the book and go, darn. Now, again, I've had ballet and tap dancing. Some of the positions are similar, but there was just something else going on. And at this point, Soiji's gone out of town. I'm taking classes once a week, and then I'm taking classes twice a week, and then I'm taking classes 7 days, actually 6 days a week. Um, and I didn't know this until long story short, I became part of this organization. They saw me coming, just like I learned to see people coming. Classic. You go, Swami Vishnu lecture, you meet with Swamiji. He tells you, sure, just come on, start taking classes. Uh, and you either take 3 classes and they never see you again, or you take 3 classes and 3 months later you're asking, how do I become staff? That was me. How do I become a staff member? So I took classes for about a year because I had a commitment in Chicago that I had to fulfill, and I hadn't fulfilled it yet. So when that was done, Swami Vishnu came through about once every 2 years or so. And when he was there, I said, Swamiji, I've been taking classes. How do I become a member of your organization? And he again called the director over and said, is so and so leaving? And because I didn't know the background of this stuff, and they said, yeah. And he said, um, if you want, you can come to my ashram in Quebec this summer, take a teacher's training class, and then come back here and be on staff, which is sort of like, I don't know, going to a millionaire and saying, wow, you're rich. Can I have a job? And he says, sure, come on in. And it was the turning point in my life at that time because it took me completely out of the toxic environment that I had been in, that I put myself in, and that I was staying in because I didn't know any other direction to go that wasn't worse. So I got lifted completely out of there. I was on staff there for not quite a year. Then I took the teacher's training course, which was for his staff. And oddly enough, went back to Chicago as the director. And I was the director there for just under, let's say, 10 years. Actually, it was more like 8 years. And so I dealt with students 5, 6, 7 days a week, multiple classes a day. And I did that for, again, about 10 years. And at that point, I felt that I had reached as far as I could go with that philosophy and that modality, but I still stayed in the organization. I just wasn't teaching any longer, and I wasn't the director any longer. And part of that was also some economic conditions because as the resident director, you basically, it's room and board and a small salary because, people have to buy, in my case, shaving cream and, I had to get glasses while I was there, stuff like that. So not to get into the minutia, but um, I went out into the normal world where we all live, and that's where you find me now. So that experience has essentially colorized or been part of everything that I have done since that time. Every decision that I make, sometimes thought patterns will come into my head, and Michelle's familiar with me going blah da 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 da, and looking at me going, where did that come from? And it's just memory from something that I encountered back in those days. So that's the early days. And I think we're out of time.
So yeah, so we're going back and forth on our mics. That's what we were working for on TechWise on during your show, Heather. And so yeah, Jonathan was a director of one of the biggest international yoga centers in the world. He did that for a little over a decade. And while he was there, he picked up on the tarot. He picked up on a few other spiritual practices as well. And he himself is in fact a psychic. I live with him. I've seen his chart. He does have a very Sattvic soul. He can really tap into that energy. And I'm really excited to have him read for you guys today and introduce the new show that Jonathan and I are putting together. It's called The Boomer Mill. Okay, Jackie, thank you so much for posting it. I really appreciate that. And on The Boomer Mill, Jonathan and I are going to be talking about issues that are cross generational to bring us together and unify us. We figured if we went along the lines of generational, it was a little bit lighter of a topic than perhaps race or economics or things like that. So we jumped into that. We put our hat in the ring. I'm obviously a millennial. Jonathan is a boomer, a baby boomer. And so we thought that we would talk about the various things that we see going on in our communities, just to give you our non-spiritual background, if you want to call it that. We're involved in a number of business councils, neighborhood councils, things like that. That's how kind of we met. And we're really big in our community and helping out and doing things there. And we've noticed some major, major shifts in the organizational structures that were once in place to keep us safe as a society. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that and what we can do in our local communities to support each other despite the upheavals that we're seeing economically, socially, etc., especially politically. If you're in the US, it's a mess. So we're trying to bring people together and generations together in a way where we it's not us against us, it's us against, in my opinion, the ones that are coming in and taking away a lot of our structures. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that. We're going to give you some personal anecdotes that we experienced, and we're going to be inviting people from the audience to tell us their stories as well. The show will premiere tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific. It'll be here on YouTube if you're joining us from YouTube, but it'll also be on Twitch and Facebook and also where podcasts are. So we're going to be putting it up on Spotify, Apple, things like that. So it's basically a way for us to come together in our communities and try to find solutions to the, in our opinion, collapse of a lot of the societal structures we've seen, especially since COVID and the last presidency that we had. A lot of things happened there too, socially. So you would know that if definitely if you're in America. And we also are tech workers as well. And we live in a high tech, high income area, and we're really seeing major, major sociological changes happen here. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Just to tell everybody in the audience, Jonathan is a Q&A reader. So you are definitely 100% have to be in the audience in order for him to take your question. Okay, so When you ask your question, he has a stellium in Sagittarius in his Vedic chart, which is a stellium in Capricorn in his Western chart. So he is all about helping you find the answer, in addition to leading you through, his own guides and his own inquiries to find the answer. It's very guru-like talking to him because he has that background as a yoga instructor for so many years. So yeah, just to let everybody know, I'll go ahead and I'll put the banner up before we say hi to everyone. Uh, Donations get priority. Links are in the description. Please subscribe to the Boomer Mill because we're going to be going a bi-weekly podcast together in that. Please be present to receive your reading. No personal solicitations. Don't engage trolls. We will get to them. There's a lot of them these days, guys, so I apologize for that. Um, it is for entertainment purposes only and one question per person. So I did get your tip, Susan, so you are first in line. As we see more come in, we'll go ahead and tag those, and we will spend more time on your question if you tip as well. Okay, so without ado, let's go ahead and say hi to some lovely people in our audience. Okay, so we have the lovely, and let us know if there's an echo, guys, because we both have our mics on. We have the lovely, joyful Jen. It's lovely to see you, Jen. Yes, it is the Jonathan. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Jackies. You are the best mod. I really appreciate you. And Scott, it is lovely to see you. Thank you for coming and for being such a wonderful support. We appreciate you so much. And of course, Harley is here bringing the dance. Thank you, Harley. Really appreciate you. And yes, this is the hubby. So, and let's see. Okay. I'm glad you're looking to start over. That's fantastic, Rose Blue. That's beautiful. And thank you so much for sharing, Jackie. Yeah, go ahead and please subscribe to the new channel. We're really excited to get it off the ground. And Sue Toffee is here. Welcome, Sue Toffee. I love your kitty cat. I hope Blueberry is doing okay. Nivra, good to see you, Nivra. It's always a pleasure to see your beautiful face. Everyone's saying hi to each other. Tropical Empress is here. Welcome, Tropical Empress. And then we have, let's see. Oh, Rachel has a question. So Jonathan, is that Dharma? Like what
What's not
happened to you
Dharma?
in coming across the book and then meeting your Swami? Would that be Dharma for you?
That would absolutely be Dharma and karma, whatever you want to call it. But the thing that made me think that it was Dharma was when I started doing the exercises. I realized that when I was a little kid, they had me go to dance class. It was sort of like combo gymnastics and dance. I used to do certain things like what I would call now a shoulder stand, a headstand, which is a lot easier to do when you're 6, by the way, splits, things like that, stand up and bend all the way back, and I'm doing this without training. I'm just doing it like in the dance class because they're saying, okay, kids, let's just have fun. So I'm doing stuff like that. And then later on, I have formal training with one of the foremost gurus in the world, and I realized, hey, I did that when I was 6. Not all of it, but some of it was spontaneous. And so I did have that same thought. Why was I doing like cross leg positions and back bends and putting one leg behind my head, things like that as a kid? Well, really, what baby doesn't try to put his foot over his head anyway? But little more than that. So yeah, I would say it was probably dharmic and karmic because to be at the peak of uh, discontent and meet the person who's going to take you out of it, that's dharma. I could have not done anything. That's also occurred to me because looking back on it, and I've commented with Michelle a number of times, looking back, I can chart a path, not a straight path, but a path from that lecture with him to where I'm sitting now. And decisions that I've made, choices that have been presented to me, all of these things, boom, 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 boom. So yeah, I would not be talking to you right now if I had just gone to the lecture and gone, looks too hard. So there was something already in there.
Yeah, and we actually have photos of Jonathan as a baby doing yoga poses. We kept a lot of those. So it's definitely a samskara, so an past life impression. So, yeah, so the answer is yes. Yes. All right. So Harley is bringing a dance party. Thank you, Harley. And Scott's saying hi to everybody. And Jackie's dancing. All right. It's a party. All right. Yes, we are quite the team. And Jonathan sings and dances, and I sing and dance too. So we both have that. So Nivra's giving everybody love. Thank you, Nivra. Ramon is here. Good to see you, Ramon. Thank you. And all right, Harley's bringing it. Thank you. Thank you. Everyone's saying hi. I want to make sure I get to everyone here. Oh, Tom is here. Good to see you, Tom. Welcome. It's lovely to see you. And I'm glad that you're working on that rose blue. That's fantastic. Everyone, oh yes, thank you for sending love to Rosie. She's being such a good girl. We love her. Yes, the Boomer Mill. I came up with the title during the last Ekadashi, the Nirjala. It just popped into my head, and we went, this might be something we could, look into. So it's been on the back burner for a while. And then Bella Luna, thank you for joining us, Bella Luna. I love your photo. That's beautiful. And okay, Tropical Empress Spirit, I went ahead and got your question. Joyful Jen, I got your question. Nivra, I got your question. Thank you for bringing the party, Harley. No echo. Thank you, Rose Blue. I appreciate that. I'm going to turn both of our mics off at some point, and then you can tell me if you guys can hear it, because we spend a lot of time getting the sound correct because we have a 700 square foot apartment. So we can't really close the door and not hear the other person. So, and thank you so much, Jackie. You're the best. And Joyful, I'll go ahead and put you, Joyful, okay, you are in. Thank you, Jonathan. Yes, and Dharma does have a secondary meaning. Yes, it's following the Dharmic path. What's your Dharma? Yeah, for sure. Oh, thank you, Nivra. Um, oh yeah, that's true, Harley. Yeah, trained by the universe from youth. Yeah, finding his purpose. He's got a Guru Chandala in his ninth house, so that'll do it. That's Rahu Jupiter conjunction ninth house. So, oh, thank you, Harley. We love you too. And thank you, Tropical Empress. I went ahead and got your stuff in. All right. So, thank you for joining us, guys. This is going to be an awesome show, Heather. I'm super excited. So, before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the astrological forecast, and then we're going to get to your readings. And so, oh, you did tip, Rachel. Thank you for letting us know. Jonathan will find your question if you haven't. Oh, I see it. There it is. Okay. Yeah, we've got yours, and we do have Susan's as well. Okay. So he's excited to tip for you guys because he's just been behind, sorry, to read for you guys because he's been behind the scenes this whole time. So it's kind of neat. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go into the astrology. Let me just pull up the Vedic transits. Okay, so the first thing we have is tomorrow. And Mercury is going to be combust. That happens when he's within 1 degree of the sun until June 15th. So this is like a little mini Mercury retrograde, okay, guys? It's challenges in communication and clarity. So this can lead to misunderstandings, hasty decisions, or feelings of mental burnout. Be particularly cautious with agreements and written communications during this time, and collectively know that this alignment may result in public misinformation or disruptions in our transports or communication sectors. So navigate this period by prioritizing clear and thoughtful communication. You can practice mindfulness to enhance that focus and mental acuity. You can chant the Nama mantra for Mercury, and I'll give that to you now. Om Buddhaya Namaha. And you can do that via Amala 108 times. And today, Wednesday, Miraculous, Mercury Day, is the best day to do it to prepare for this energy. And that'll just promote clearer thinking, more effective communication, active listening, because this is a bit of a challenging, and Mercury gets combusted by the sun quite often. So it's something that we're used to dealing with every now and then, especially when he goes retrograde, but this is a little shorter. So then right after that, good news, Mercury is going into his home sign of Gemini. He's very happy here. And so we can expect a surge in intellectual activity. So after he moves away from the sun on June 15th, that's when we're going to start feeling some of this energy. And that's going to go until June 29th. So that's an excellent time for negotiations and learning. It's really cautious to beware of like overthinking or spreading yourself too thin across multiple interests, because Geminis tend to vacillate and have a lot of interests. Let's see. Collectively, this is going to promote a lot of innovation, a lively exchange of ideas, but it can also lead to scattered focus, heated debates, especially in public discourse. So you can say the Nama mantra for Mercury. I just gave you that, and that'll help enhance the intellectual clarity and protect against any miscommunication that's being caused by just kind of like that rapid fire thought that Gemini causes. And then we've got Mercury and Venus at a planetary war in Gemini until June 18th. So that's tensions in communications and relationships. Now, I always pay attention to these because Jonathan's ascendant is Gemini and mine is Taurus, ruled by Venus. And so we're just extra gentle to each other on days like that. And we make sure that we do what's called active listening. Okay, because if you're struggling to balance your logic and your emotion, that can lead to conflicts in your personal and your business relationships. So just be mindful of how you express your feelings and share ideas to avoid misunderstandings. Like I mentioned, active listening. We work and play together. So we do this all the time. Like I'll say something and he'll repeat it back to me just to make sure that he knows what's going on. And then he'll say something and I'll repeat it back to him. And that's kind of how we avoid any crossing our wires, so to speak. So you can do the mantra for Mercury during that time, or on Friday you can do the mantra for Venus, and that is Om Shukraya Namaha. And that helps with finances, relationships, things like that, because that's what Shukra is in charge of. So that'll smooth out the communications and promote harmony during this kind of more contentious period. And again, that ends on the 18th. So that's just a little bit about what we have coming. Then we have Ganga Dashera, we have the Ekadashi coming up. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about those as these events come up. If you want to stay abreast of everything that's going on collectively, the main thing for that is I have a shorts feed and I go in there every day, but the day before or even a week before some of these transits happen, I go in and I warn you. Okay. So I hope that was helpful, guys. And we're going to get to your readings. So thank you for singing, Harley. Oh, Rossi's here. Who are you? What's coming up in your career? I'll go ahead and get you in there. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad that you're doing the active listening. Yeah, that's a really great tool, Heather. I'm glad you're doing that too. Oh, I hope everything goes smoothly for you too. That's good. That's good. I know you've been having a lot of issues with the apartment. So, okay, so let's get to our first. Oh, you're welcome, Susan. You're first. Okay. Let's see. If I go to so this is from Susan. Thanks so much, y'all. Haven't talked to the realtor yet today, but I've been pondering new markets and strategies. Daniel is very eager to sell. Any guidance on successfully selling Mountain Grove Cloudland B&B? Thank you. Okay, so just to give you a little bit of background, Susan, Jonathan was also, in addition to a yoga director, he was a real estate agent for like, what was it, 20 or 30 years, honey?
30.
30 years? Okay. And that's one of the ways I met him because he helped me with my first house. So, yeah, so he's an expert in this area. So he'll have some good advice for you. And it's in his chart. You can actually inherit gifts from our ancestors. And Jonathan's family owned a lot of real estate growing up. Now, he didn't get the benefit of that, and that's a whole other story. Woohoo! But but he does know quite a bit about it. So, and he has past lives dealing with it. Okay, so I'm just going to pull a few cards. Jonathan doesn't need cards because that's just how he reads. He'll probably ask you a few questions. Okay, Susan? So just be prepared to be on the line if he asks you any questions. And if you feel a hit, Jonathan, go ahead. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and go first. Okay. Getting some good cards for you, Miss Susan. Okay, what about Cloudland B&B, Mountain Grove? Ooh, okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's take care of this. And thank you guys for being nice and patient with us because it's us today. Okay, I'm getting a little bit of a story here. Okay. So, Miss Susan, the first question I got, so the first thing I got from the guys is I got the first thing I got from the guides is Sagittarius. So putting all of your wherewithal and focus into this is going to be key because the Sagittarians are all about, how do I say this? They're very truthful. Okay, they're very pinpointed in the way that they solve problems. They take all of that fiery energy and passion and they put it all into a single goal or event. So they're basically saying sharpen your arrow and get ready to launch this. And this is the type of realtor that you may be looking for as well. I know that we pulled some fire energy and got Aries for you yesterday. So this is someone with a lot of energy that can put that out there for you. Then I got the 12th house. Okay. So when I get Sagittarius in the 12th house, this tells me that you need to listen to the inner Brihaspati within you. I know that you have Jupiter 12th house energy in your chart. So there is an inner guru, an inner guide that can help you through this. So paying attention to your intuition, hidden things, uh, those gut feelings, that third eye stuff is really going to help you with this. The reason I say that is because I got the first house. So this tells me that you are the main decision maker here. The world is your stage. This is your decision to make. Okay. It literally says do it on your own, ways to protect yourself. This needs to be your decision. So I know that Daniel is very, very much about selling the property right now, but it needs to be your decision. This is something that you've had for a long time. Okay. Uh, Another thing they're saying is when you owned the property, it was in better condition. So that might be something to consider as well. Because when I get the first house and the 12th house, what that tells me is when you were living there, it was like going to the theater and looking at the stage, and it was beautiful. But then over time, the 12th house kind of took over and it became more commercialized. That's what they're showing me. So I got two cards from the Creativity Oracle that are a little different. I got Capable and I got Secrets. Okay, Secrets is that 12th house energy. The Capable, you can successfully deal with whatever challenges and circumstances arise. You have all of the tools in your toolbox to sell this property. So that is the inner guru within that 12th house energy that I picked up. And then I got the Secrets card, and then I got a hawk with that. And there's a full moon behind the hawk. Conceal plans and actions from those not ready to accept you as you are. So there is something going on that you're not seeing. I got 12th house. I got secrets. There might have been some information that was kept from you regarding maybe the condition of the property or a few things that you aren't seeing that maybe potential buyers are when they come in. Okay. So you'll want to do a little bit of digging, maybe some detective work on what's been said about the Mountain Cloud B&B and what that looks like. Okay. The reason I said that, I say that is that I got the 10 of Swords, but it came up reversed. Okay. So when I get this, it's that the worst has kind of happened. There's some uncertainty regarding the property. There's some hopes and dreams that were dashed a little bit because I'm basically tuning into the property with this. And they're saying it may not have been as well. How do I say this? When you were in charge, it was better loved. Okay. So there may be some loss because of that. Okay. So they're saying to seek the support of others who have been through similar difficulties. That could be maybe some repairs or some things to make it like zhuzh it up a little bit. But if there's some feelings of hopelessness within the house, it's not feeling loved, it's feeling abandoned and a little depressed because I asked how it's doing. Okay. So, professional help may be necessary for the house to kind of get it back on the path of being beautiful and okay. Otherwise, you may have to drop the price a little bit because the 10 of Swords is a difficult card. The house is a little depressed. I don't know why. That's what it's telling me. So the solution to the house was I got the Temperance card. It's finding that beautiful balance. This is a card about patience, being patient while the storm crosses over. It means to relax, be patient, be patient. Things are good, okay? Let things happen in their own time. This is an essential road to your spiritual development. And remember that the other meaning of Temperance is your spiritual development within your relationship with Daniel as well. Okay. So wait a little longer to sell because the right contact will come along, and let the complexity of your situation work for you. Okay. Whatever you do, don't rush it, because temperance is all about being calm in the storm and being patient and meditating and relying on spirit to deliver the right person at the right time. So things will work out for the best for both of you if you're willing to be patient and accepting, as you go through this process, and channel your energy privately into making those plans and lists on what you don't want and what you do want, because I did get the secrets card in that 12th house. So the results of your planning may surprise you. Okay. I did get one more card for you before I launched Jonathan. I got I am an oracle. Okay, you got that beautiful 12th house Jupiterian energy, and Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So I think that's just your spirit guides reminding you that when you sit in meditation, the answers will come to you. An oracle is aware of the subtle voices and symbols that reveal the messages that guide us. I got a hawk and a full moon in that last card. Okay. I breathe in the trust I need to follow my intuition. I am filled with the wisdom of my higher self. I breathe out the doubt that the answers will come to me. That's why I got first house. They're going to come to you, and they're going to come to you through spirit. Okay. But I did tap into the house, and the house is a little sad. Okay. So you might want to check in. If you haven't been to the property in a while, just do a walkthrough. Try to get an idea of what people may be seeing in real time versus in the photos. Okay, that's the main thing that I got. And oh, thank you for joining us, for Tom. That's awesome. So thank you for checking out Boomer Mill. So yeah, without ado, I'm sending a lot of love, and I'm excited to see what Jonathan has for you because he's got a background in this. Take care, Susan.
Okay, Susan. I didn't. I don't look at cards, but in your case, I looked at your listing. So I, I didn't go virtual. I went literally real estate, and I can tell you, you've got a couple of problems that are not psychically inherent. They're inherent in real estate. And I can tell that over time, when you were in direct management, and I don't know if you were on site, but you might as well been from looking at the comments and such, the reviews on Google, which we can make it or break it, believe it or not. That's almost the new real estate market is what people say about a listing on Google. Up until recently, 5 stars, fantastic place, lifetime memorable experience. And people couldn't find ways to complement the property enough when you had direct management activity with it. Okay. Right now, if I were a buyer or if I were a real estate agent looking with a buyer, first thing I would do would be to go to Google. That's what people do. They didn't have that when I was early in my real estate career, but toward the end, oh yeah, if you were in Google or weren't in Google, you better find out how to get in there because that's the first question people would ask is there a Google rating? Is it online, whatever. You've got 2 reviews now that are not good. And I'm telling you this not as a judgment. I'm telling you this as your sort of immediate temporary real estate consultant. If I were a real estate agent and I were looking in that area in this particular market, because this is not single family, this is not multifamily, this is business, right? Multifamily business. I'm not sure I would show the property. Again, I'm not trying to be mean or brutal or uh, yeah, yeah. Anyway, I'm looking at it from the external perspective and honestly, yeah, kind of the spiritual perspective. And what would I say to you if you were my client and said, what would you do? Um, I'm not sure how current the pictures are that I saw, but if you have taken steps, I know I've seen, I'm kind of in the background in Michelle's chat, so I've seen the questions come up, and I know that this is part of your heart. This property is part of your heart, and you have taken such good care of it, and now it seems like you're not getting any care back. You know, it's not directly the fault of yours or the property, But right now, the property is not in the best saleable condition based on the pictures that I saw that were in the Google reviews. So uh, I would take a look at those reviews, and I would take a serious, dispassionate look. Like, if this were my friend's property, and I don't, you may go over there every day. You may be so far away it's difficult for you to get there, but I would do a walkthrough and maybe do it with the realtor that you have now or the realtor that you're thinking of relisting it with, or both. Get a bidding war going on. But right now, I think, yeah, siding and kitchen update, yeah. Um, and you may not need complete rehab. You may just need like sand stuff and paint it again, you know. But something needs to be done because, again, if I were a realtor in that area and had a client looking for that in that price range, I'd probably show it to them, but I probably wouldn't show it to them twice, you know. Again, this is just me giving you my opinion. Well, I can tell from the previous pictures, this is a beautiful, beautiful property, and it is a staggeringly beautiful location, you know. It just needs some love. I know you've got the love. Absolutely. So I would look at getting some more five-star Google reviews. I mean, contact some people that you know that were there back in the day, you know, because Google is not going to check. Wait a minute, that was 3 years ago. Have them comment on the property. You might even go in as the owner and say, hey, I'm doing some remodeling, you know, we're going to have an open house. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. Discount the rates for a little bit, you know. Basically, just throw everything you've got at it. The property, like I said, has been a spectacular property over time. The location is the best part of the property practically. But I could see this being like a honeymoon location, a retreat location. I could see this being a corporate retreat, but not now. So um, that's all I have.
Okay, well, we hope that was helpful, Susan. And I went ahead and logged your tip, Tropical Empress. Thank you for letting us know. And Harley says, "Thank you. That's helpful advice. Making adjustments on the sale of profits." Yeah, he's a triple Capricorn in Western, guys. So he's gonna give you his very Capricorn perspective. So, I mean, he helps me choose apartments. Like he was also a construction carpenter while he was also a yoga teacher. He's done a ton of stuff. And so like he like would find there was one place we were looking at and there was like a crack in the corner. And he goes, if there wasn't a leak behind that wall, I'll be shocked. And he goes, and I guarantee there's a mold issue. And yeah, that's what was going on. Like we actually had a person go through and look, and there was like a huge problem. So he is very 3D and very practical with his responses. We call that Artha yoga in the community. So we hope that was helpful, Susan. We are sending you lots of love as you go for that sale. And then she said, thank you. We did corporate retreats and weddings and honeymoons back in the day. Yes, that's awesome. And Rachel says, go Capricorns. Yeah. Yes, Rachel, that's true. He would have been very helpful. That's why I said bring a friend, because he's my friend that I bring. Well, we were living there together, but you know what I mean. So. Oh my gosh. And so, Marilla, it is lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us, sweetie. I really appreciate your support. And Jessica Lynn, welcome, welcome. So good to see you. And Rossi, good to see you too. And yeah, let's see. I didn't see your joke. I hope that was okay. All right. So I'm going to go on to the next question. Thank you guys all again for being here. If you haven't subscribed to the Boomer Mill, go ahead. We're going to do our premiere tomorrow. And it's basically just going into what the show is going to be about in the podcast, and it's bi-weekly. Okay. So our next tipper is Joyful Jen. So let me find you, Joyful Jen. Okay. Do my guides have a message for me? Okay, yes, they do. So, Joyful Jen, this is what I have for you. The first one I got was the moon. You need to nurture yourself emotionally. The moon is it's the planet for motherhood. It's our inner self. It's the it's where we store our private ego, so to speak. Okay, so they're going to be working with you a little bit on that private part of yourself, the inner self. Okay, so I asked what kind of emotional work is joyful Jen going to be working on? Well, I got temperance reverse, so they're going to help you balance out your emotions a little bit. Okay, so whenever I get the temperance card reversed, what it tells me is that there's a difference between patience and laziness or apathy or depression in a situation. Okay. So time and timing can manifest as problems in new ways when this comes up upside down. So it's telling me that there's some imbalance with respect, with relationships, just in and around your environment right now. And this is basically someone who is coming into your life with a lot of predetermined requirements about who you need to be for them. You need to kind of take a step back from that and start making boundaries with those types of personalities, because when people come in with these predetermined requirements about who they want you to be in the relationship or in the transaction, that's very narcissistic. Okay, so I'm not talking about boundaries or basic social structures. I'm talking about someone who comes in who is imbalanced in this area. Okay. So the must-haves, I can't live with this. You need to do that. They're putting their happiness and their emotional quotient on you. Okay. So if you're too complacent about the aspect that I'm talking about, like you need to kind of find and keep to the truth of who you are and not let someone tell you how to be and how to act when it comes to your contribution to the relationship and or the transaction, okay, or the friendship. So this is just a personality type that I see that's kind of blocking your ability to really connect with people in your tribe. Okay, so if they're going to help you, they're going to actually send you a few people that have these traits. They're always fun. Every now and then I'll get a client and it'll be like, oh, there's one, and I'll deal with them, and I'll like maybe do a few things back and forth and go, okay, that's something that they'll deal with when they're ready. So that's just a certain personality type that they're kind of bringing to your attention. Once you're able to set those boundaries after going through that experience, you're going to have a lot more fun in your social interactions. I got the Three of Cups. You're going to attract some friends. Okay. I went through a bit of a betrayal back in December, and I have since been surrounded by new people in my network and in my life, and it's been wonderful. No complaints for me. So basically, enjoying yourself is as important as working hard, and that's who you're going to attract. Opportunities are going to bring wonderfully, fun days and nights, so you can take advantage of them. And you can set aside your worries and feel gratitude for life's gifts because you're around people that vibe closer to your energy. So, you're going to go on trips. You can attend celebrations with people like this because they're more trusting. Make sure that there are people around you that are wishing the best for you and not in competition with you or unbalanced emotionally. Speak with your heart, and that is going to attract that vibration to you, and do what makes you happy, and that will attract that vibration to you, that beautiful tribe. So, and that'll become a time where you can give thanks and enjoy the best that life has to offer because you set boundaries. Yay! I love it when that happens. So they're going to be doing some emotional shadow work, but as someone who just went through this, it's going to open doors for new people. Okay. As you go through this, I asked my creativity oracle what would be going on in your emotional state. And I did the pulver method. This is analyze, seed, and resistance. So let's talk about analyzing. You're going to be analyzing your emotional state. And I love the bird in this card. Your time is well spent analyzing, but only to where you become too attached to a particular outcome. So yes, go ahead and study. Get your chart done. Maybe look into some new modalities on how to go in and reassess your emotional state and what's going on, because the moon is the most important planet in Vedic astrology. It's what we carry with us from birth to birth. So as you're analyzing your emotions and how you interact with others, make sure not to get too attached to one modality or another. Just be open as you start to reveal the truth. Then I got the seed card. So having the intention to grow like a seed and bloom is at the heart of creativity. So see this as a way of planting seeds for the future, emotional seeds that are going to attract that beautiful tribal energy that I see for you. And then the last card I got was resistance. Understanding why you resist what you have to do is a crucial part of the process. So If you resist putting up those boundaries or saying no to the people that are taking advantage of you or coming in with those pre-directed behaviors, like you do this, you do that, if you're going to be with me and they're a little pushy and they're not really, then don't resist setting those boundaries. I love Neptune in this card because what Neptune does is he puts rose-colored glasses on us and we see people as better than they possibly are or worse than they possibly are, but it's usually better when it comes to Neptune. He's the Disney planet. So don't resist the lessons that you're being shown, because once you take those blinders off, that's how you're going to attract the right people. Okay. So, your affirmation, I got flexibility as you go through this shadow work. I am open to reality's infinite possibilities. Allow new information and new events to inform your plans and beliefs about what is true and possible. Prepare as best you can, but expect the unexpected. When this happens, move forward and don't look back. Set that boundary, and they're going to come back. They're going to hover. Okay, that's what they do. Set it. If you're feeling like ugh or yuck about it, pray for them. That's what I do. When I am struggling to let go of someone in my life that is extremely toxic, I will include them in my mantra practice. So they're still in my life and I can feel no animosity toward them because I'm praying for them, but I also don't feel the need to do their homework for them. Okay? Whew. Got a couple more here. Okay, I think this is who you're kind of turning into. I got the Princess of Winter. She's good at trying to start to detach her emotions. Information that can help you but can be very difficult to hear. Speaking the truth with kindness, and an indigo child or adult. So you're stepping into a period of less sentimentality and more to truth and detachment when it comes to your relationships, so you can attract better partnerships and outcomes. Oh my gosh, there's 41 comments. What is going on? One second. Okay. I'm just seeing if you said anything. Okay, I'm not seeing that. All right. So hi, Marina. Good to see you, sweetie. So this is kind of what I see for your overall, once you kind of create some of those detachments and you're able to step into a better circle of friends. I got romantic, captivating, dramatic, and flirtatious. And so this is about falling in love, being swept off your feet. It's the need to stay grounded, because this is going to be a very emotional experience, because you're finally going to be in and around people that vibe closer to your vibration as you let go of a few. Okay. And I'm not saying this is your whole network. It's just a couple of people that might be in the way of your goals as a soul. Okay. So I hope that was helpful, sweetie. And I'm excited to see what Jonathan has for you, because he's very practical when it comes to relationships and when it comes to guides and moving forward and things like that. Oh, and you are looking for a new tribe. Girl, it's coming. You just have to set those boundaries. And oh, good to see you, Karen Doyle. And thank you for helping us out. I'll make you a mod, Morella, a little later. I just realized you're not a mod, so I'll go ahead and do that. So... All right. So make sure that you are interacting with Jonathan as we go. Okay, Jen, because he tends to want to ask questions when it comes to the generals. Okay. So without ado, here you go.
Yeah, relationships have been a problem since people, started fire and started coming around the fire. But yeah, I've been in long-term relationships, I've been in medium-term relationships, and I've been in short-term relationships. I couldn't tell you what the defining initial characteristic of any of those three types of relationship was, except that the people on both sides, myself and the other person, were working, each was working as hard, let's call it, not that you're, laying railroad track or anything, but you're working on understanding what the other person's emotional needs are and what your own emotional needs are. Because not, I'm crossing into Dr. Phil land here, but I'm probably as older than he is, so I guess I'll take it. It takes a while for probably for you to warm up to someone, and it's going to probably take an equal amount or longer time for that person to warm up to you. What I see people doing in the last short period of time is, as the speed and intensity of our society has increased, now you can get TV on your phone, interactive TV on your phone, which is basically this. It used to take more effort to contact someone, to get to know them, to form an opinion about them. Now you know everything about them in their social media. before you even see them in person. And I have person after person tell me, wow, I thought they were so creative. I thought they were so, interesting. And I thought they were better looking than, and then I met them in person and oh my God, you know. So getting our IRL is still, unless, it's a long distance, you're in Antarctica and there's no way to get to the person. Uh, IRL is the only way to do it. And in my case, it was always about how did I feel about that person? How did that person make me feel? And how does that person react to me? Am I making them feel happy? Am I making them feel nervous? Am I making them yawn? You know, so I got a sense that you have not really had a lot of even like this type of experience with this person. If you've had IRL experience, you've got to have more than just, two 30-minute dates for coffee. If you're serious about a person, and that's the thing, people tend to want much more serious relationships nowadays because we're so isolated. It's like leaving your apartment or your house now isn't like going out to do something. It's like escaping from prison where you've been in isolation. So that can condition your response to someone too. They may seem like the most interesting, smart, fascinating person in the world, and you realize after a couple of months they're above average, but not the sort of wow, this person knows everything that you had because you have more experience with them. That said, I've had a couple of long-term relationships, and I can tell you that after a few years, you've told them all your stories. You're repeating yourself at that point. Now, you might want to tell a story, okay, well, this is what happened when I did that, to remind someone. But you want to be able to go out and have new adventures and new stories, make new stories, make a life. That's really hard nowadays. It is very difficult because we're bombarded. Look at what we're doing right now. You know, we are not, well, Michelle and I are in virtually the same room. So the reason that I'm not echoing back and forth is a miracle based on about 3 weeks of work that we did. But we are essentially in the same room. Uh, but we go out and we try to interact with people. It's getting a lot harder now because we go out and people are walking around with their phone in their hand, looking at the phone in a beautiful park-like area where we live. Um, okay, that's what they do. So looking for a new tribe, good idea, because a tribe, by definition, is a bunch of people with the same common interests. Maybe they're interested in music, maybe they're interested in art, maybe they're interested in food, whatever. But find a tribe. You might find someone in the tribe, or you might find someone in the tribe who says, wait a minute, there's this person I know that mentions so and so that you like, and they're not really dating anyone, they're not serious, whatever. Would you like to meet them? But I can tell you that online dating is neither. You have to get IRL, and it's hard. It's really hard. Person from work. I'm not sure I saw their comment before that, but and again, I'm not Dr. Phil. I'm not Dr. Phillips either. So I'm just giving you my impressions. And I've had two long-term relationships, but they both started in the same way, which was bumping into someone because of a common interest. And that's a good first step. So think about what you like. What do you like? What do you like to do? Where do you like to go? And then find a place or a facility or a group of people that do that. And then just go, if they have an open membership day, go and see what's going on. If you don't like it, move on, you know. Um, but, and I would caution you to maintain restraint, let's call it. It's very easy to think, uh, well, this is better than being alone. Sometimes it's not, you know. And there's a difference between being alone and being lonely, you know. Anyway, I'll stop being your grandfather now. But that's what served me well when I was looking for people, was to find a common interest group or area or whatever you want to call it, and then meet the people in that group and see if they're actually in the group and they're interested in that, whether it's intellectual or mountain climbing or whatever, uh, clay modeling or poker, whatever. Find some group that you're interested in, meet the people in that group, and see where it can go from there. Hope that helps.
Oh, thank you, Jonathan. And she says, good advice. I'll look for new opportunities to meet like-minded people. And the Tarot Stash is here. Hello. It's so good to see you. More cowbell. Awesome. And then Harley says, I was once taking a walk in the park. I looked over and there was a couple on a date. They were laying next to each other, shoulder to shoulder, communicating via cell phone. Okay, that's the modern world. Like, well, Jonathan and I, we work in tech, so that's kind of how we connected in addition to business and things that we do too. So, oh, okay, we'll go ahead and get your question in, Patty D. Thank you for joining us. All right. So let's see. We hope that was helpful, hun, and best of luck to you, Joyful Jen, in finding your new tribe. They're there. I mean, I got great cards for that, so we're looking good there. Okay, so I'm just making sure I'm getting all of your questions in because we're working together today. And I believe the next question is Rachel Rose, and then we have Rosanna Medina, and then we have Elena uh, S. Okay, and then we have Amanda E. Nakano, and we'll look. Yeah, so Alana Steinbeck, we did get yours, so we'll go ahead and answer your question there too. Okay, so the next one is Rachel Rose. So make sure that you're in the audience, guys, because he's a Q&A guy. Oh, and I see that Patty D tipped as well, so I'll go ahead and put you in as well. Okay, so let me just put that in. Patty D. You are in the list. Okay, so let me find your question, Miss Rachel. Do, 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 do. Okay, I'm looking for it. I'm not seeing your question, Rachel. Can you go ahead and repost it for us? We're both modding today, so if you can do that, I'd really appreciate it. And you're so welcome, Jen. I hope that helped, sweetie. Oh, and Amanda and baby Aurora Rose are here. Good to see you, honey. Okay. So we are looking for Rachel's question. Otherwise, I'll just give you a general, okay, sweetie? Oh, you just posted it. Thank you. Thank you, honey. I would love a general reading. I've been feeling burnt out, super burnt out, I bet. Also in a bit of avoidance mode, especially with the guy downstairs. Okay. I got Sagittarius 8th house. That's transformation. Now, we did look at your chart, and you're going to be going through this karmic energy until January, okay? So try to do your mantras or anything that we did during the session to kind of help you with this energy. Okay, when I pull Sagittarius 8th house, that tells me this is more guru type energy, things like that. You're also a very fiery personality and a passionate person, so you're going to undergo a little bit of transformation in this area a little bit. Okay, so I asked what this 8th house of transformation energy looked like, and I got the Justice card. So things are going to be balanced out for you a little bit more. Okay. This is You Deserve It card. Legal matters, negotiations are going to start getting settled a little more fairly for you. You can start to make improvements in your home. Start making some realistic and attainable goals. All right. If you are looking for a relationship, you can prepare to meet them very soon. That's what I got when I pulled this card. I know we've been talking about relationships, but there's someone in the wings, okay? And it indicates that that's possible. A relationship is possible right now. So a balance will be reached. You're going to start creating more mutual understandings and acceptance with others in your environment. This is a good time to put things down in writing, such as agreements and contracts. Obviously, pay attention to what Mercury's doing in the sky. He's going to be combust the next few days, so wait until he's out of that and of the war. So that would be after June 18th. So, but the Justice card, it symbolizes peace, the good, sweet things in life. It's a peaceful, improving environment for you. So that's good. Okay, so just be involved and try to find as many ways to Deal with the major transformation that you just went through, especially with the big move. The reason I think a relationship is coming your way is this is the card I get for Jonathan and I all the time. I got the Two of Cups, and we think the little white cat is Rosie because she's a little white dog. So this is two hearts beating as one. If you're alone, this is the time to turn on your love light. Okay, your willingness to listen and share and commit yourself with your heart, commit and with all your heart really will pay off for you, Rachel. So true love is coming. This is a rare chance. This is a chance for a nurturing, supportive, heartfelt, emotional exchange for a good relationship. So a few things are more valuable. I've got one and I'm not letting him go. He's fantastic. So your passionate feelings will be reciprocated because I did get Sagittarian energy there. There is a lot of attraction and compatibility with this card, great conversation. And if the interaction is right, really good physical interactions too. Okay. So I asked what was kind of standing in the way of that because I'd love to meet with some, not just a hookup buddy. Yeah, okay. And this feels good, like the place I lived in first. Okay, eventually dating after this tour, but not the guy downstairs. He's hot, but too young and pushy. Okay, sounds good. Well, I did get 8th house Sagittarius, so that would be a little bit of a pushy guy. That's kind of a Knight of Wands reversed energy that you're describing there. So maybe not for you. Okay, but the Two of Cups does show me that something is coming. So this is the block in relationships for you. Okay, I went to my shamanic healing oracle. This is going to help you attract the right person with your beautiful vibe. Okay, Rachel? Whew. Many times we take on the stress of those that we love and care about. I got the Birded card. I am totally guilty of doing this, and Jonathan and I help each other through this, okay? We take on each other's burdens to save them trouble or heartache. Ironically, the way that the universe works is that this is a very counterproductive way of operating in a relationship, okay? So when we take on the burdens of others, we're denying them the ability to learn and to grow from their own lessons. So you need to be able to allow your partner to do their own homework. I know that's difficult. So you don't want to interfere with divine timing or planning. Okay. So lessons that are circumvented by you will absolutely reappear in their lives, sometimes with much more force than what was originally intended if they didn't learn the lesson. So ask yourself if you or another is taking on troubles or lessons that don't belong to them. Marina on her show talks about carrying other people's baggage, checking other people's baggage. Okay, this stems from a fear that you or they are fundamentally not enough. Okay, that's not true at all. You are complete and whole and beautiful just as you are. You were created perfect. Your fears and doubts are going to keep you separated from this truth. Okay, so this is the separation that you can feel from the creator as well. And once you accept and believe that you are worthy, the tendency to make yourself invaluable for others and that help and assistance will go away. Okay, through your help and assistance will go away. So basically, your relationships can then be based in truth and not in manipulation or trying to get them to do the right thing or say the right thing or be the right person. Okay, and that goes both ways. So just making sure that you're not stepping into that kind of taking on other people's homework energy. And I can see things are going to go well. Let's see, how do I meet this person? Okay. Yeah, the pot is a no-go. Okay, well, that's just a boundary you're putting out there. Am I doing this at work or in my recovery meetings? Okay, well, I can, well, the burden, I wouldn't really go to your recovery meetings to meet somebody. That's not the best place to, that's not the best place to find somebody. I would find an area, okay. It's important that Ollie meets them. So maybe a dog park or outside or an event that takes place outdoors where you can bring Ollie. Okay, because he's got a good picker, is what they're showing me. I'm going to ask where you're going to meet him really quick. You're going to have to go out on your own because I got the Chariot and then I got the Three of Wands. So this is all about getting outside and reviewing your prospects. You're not going to meet them on an online app. That's kind of what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that this is going to be an IRL kind of thing. And he is sending the hawk out, so it could be online, but you're going to want to you're going to want to have a real experience with this person before you can feel the connection. Okay, so I'm going to Jonathan picked me, so I'm excited to see what he has to say regarding your relationship. But But she says, oh, definitely not. Okay. No work or home meetings. Those are all sacred spaces. Okay. Well, you're kind of, okay. So we'll see what Jonathan picks up on. And I'm excited to see what's going on. Sending you lots of love, sweetie.
Tossing me the football, huh? Well, Rachel, I'm glad to actually speak with you because I've been in the background killing trolls for most of the shows that Michelle has done with other readers. So I've kind of been interested in your saga, let's call it, you know. And I have had very different experiences in finding a partner, short-term or long-term. Basically, I did not have short-term partners. I have long-term partners. And but I met them not accidentally and not deliberately, but functionally, which is how Capricorn would put it. I found I was going to a group that I was interested in, that yoga group that I mentioned. I was going to those classes and the lectures and that sort of thing, and my future partner that I didn't realize was a future partner was one of the staff at the yoga center, and she was teaching classes and she was passing out cups of juice after class, you know, because there was sort of a hangout for about a half an hour after a class, because generally with a really good yoga class, you don't want to get behind the wheel of your car and get on the freeway, you know. So we encourage people to sort of sit and just come back to, you know, reality. And I noticed her, she noticed me, and it took, oh, I don't know, months before I said, hey, would you like to, you know, go out and I don't drink and she didn't drink, but you want to just go have a meal or something? And she said, okay, sure. And then after we were actually living together, I moved into the yoga center, became the director, long story short. Uh, she told me that she had sort of engineered that whole thing. She was passing out the juice at classes that I went to, you know, not all of them, but, you know, enough that I was going to like be aware of her. And so I guess the point of that is you need to expose yourself to as many people as possible in a casual way, you know, book groups, um, just, you know, whatever there is nowadays. To be honest, I'm not that aware of what's going on, but I'm sure there are probably like, you know, movie watching parties at somebody's house, or just going to the movies, or joining an affinity group that you're really interested in. And I know that sounds corny, and I know that sounds like, are, what are you telling this woman to do? Go to an affinity group? Well, duh, you know, um, go more than twice. You know, if it's an affinity group, you should be interested in what they're doing anyway. You have an affinity for it. In your case, maybe it's music. You know, I know that you are an expert musician, you know, like professional musician. Yeah, groups, friendships, etc. There you go. You know, like when I met my first partner, I had come to, I don't even know, 50 yoga classes before she finally said, hey, would you like to go get a cup, not a cup of coffee because we didn't drink coffee, but hey, you want to just go hang out? And we just walked around and had, I don't know, we had like a Dairy Queen or something like that. And that's when I realized this person has some sort of special magnetism for me. You know, that's what you're looking for, is that buzz. And you're not going to find it, it's unlikely to just come to you. And I know that you've tried, you know, I know that you've tried. The thing is, it's likely to roll up on you when you're not trying, because you need to do stuff that you like to do, you know, music, pottery, sure, you know, all those things. Um, you know, again, yoga class, that's what I was doing to try to relieve the stress, physical, emotional, and spiritual stress that I was going through. Um, yeah, the little guys can really help you a lot, you know. And not only just as a confessor or, you know, steam releaser, But also, Ollie should meet anyone that you're thinking of even going out on a date with, much less having a relationship. Ollie's got a picker because they are. The little guys, nothing held back, you know. If Ollie likes that person, that would be like a tentative check mark. Yep, this is worth pursuing, see where it goes. If he's barking and uncomfortable, yeah, nice to meet you, Um, if you don't find a group in Meetup, you can create your own group with your own interests. Yeah, online, and then I guess Meetup can eventually, meet up in IRL. But the people that I know that have tried that have had varying results with that because there are a lot of people in the meetup groups that they're there to meet up or they're there to hook up rather than meet up. So I understand, Rachel. I was single for a long, long time, and I had not given up. I just buried myself in work. The reason that I went to the yoga class was because I had, in fact, buried myself in my work. My shoulders, my back, and my legs were severe, severe muscle pain. And so I decided to go to a yoga class, and relieve some of this pain. And boom, there was this person that I ended up spending decades with. So be aware of your surroundings, but you should also have like uh, I think a list of your likes and dislikes would really help. Bars, yeah. Do not, do not use bars for anything but their intended purpose. Coffee shops, maybe. Lectures on something that you're interested in. If I had never met this beautiful woman here, I would probably be, and I was still, single. I would be looking at affinity groups. I would be looking at stuff that I was interested in, groups that were interested in that stuff, and I would be going to those things. And I would be going to multiple groups of those things. Don't drink anymore. Congratulations, your life just got easier. Seriously. Uh, she's a gorgeous queen. Um, anyway, you got that. You got that right. So I don't know if this has been very helpful, but what I'm telling you is that I feel that you are an intelligent, beautiful, sensitive, talented person, and you are selling yourself, or that's a terrible old term for my generation. You are valuing yourself too lightly just because you feel that you need to have a relationship right now. You want a relationship right now, but you don't want to compromise your future with a right now relationship. So I would start getting into affinity groups, music, coffee shops, book clubs, things like that, and give yourself like 6 months. Just start hitting these places for 6 months. If you don't like them, find another coffee group. Um, and I'll end with this. It's never easy. It's never easy. Vegan coffee. Well, isn't all coffee vegan?
Okay, Rachel. So we hope that was helpful. And yeah, vegan coffee shop is great because if you don't eat meat like us, it's hard to live with people who do. It really is. So, that said, I asked about David and I got the Prince of Hearts, I got the Emperor, and I got the Devil reversed. This guy is so in love with you. He's in love and in lust with you. So, if you're wondering if I know that you don't like David, but boy, does David like you. Okay, so I know that he's just a friend to you, but to him, you are a goddess. Okay, so that's what my cards say because I know you asked about him. Um, yes, and they have treats. There you go. And if you can take Ollie to the vegan cafe or just sit outside, that would be really good too because our dogs have a great picker. My dog picked Jonathan. That's how I met him. So she went right up to him and slapped him right on the foot and said, "Hey." And they're the same nakshatra, lunar nakshatra. And she was the love of my life. She's since passed, but she introduced him to me, and he would literally come to my place of business and just hold Bella and talk to me. So, and she loved him, absolutely loved him. So, oh, he calls you queen. Well, he thinks you're a queen, honey. And then he's your best friend. He is more than your best friend in his book. Okay, he's in love with you. Um, okay, well, if the physical attraction isn't there for you, I understand. It is there for him. I'm just letting you know. All right. And yes, Jackie, we love our babies. They're so great. And yeah, Bella picked Jonathan. So, all right. We hope that was helpful, Rachel. We'll send you lots of love. 100% Rossi. Always trust your dogs. They've got that sixth sense for sure. They don't need tarot cards like we do. All right. So, yeah, Rachel. You're welcome, sweetie. Okay, so Rossi, you're next, girl. I'm excited to do this question for you. Hi, Kelsey. And just to let everyone know, I saw a couple of people come in. Tara Laspina. I went ahead and put your question in the queue. And I also put Kate KJ Jones in the queue as well, but you need to be present to have your question answered. So make sure that you're here, okay? Otherwise, we're going to go to the next person. So let us get to the lovely Rossi. Woohoo! All right, and then after Rossi, we have the lovely ES or Alana. Okay, so you're after Rossi, okay? All right, so what do my guides want me to know to continue my spiritual growth? Will leaving Florida be a part of it? I got a yes, but it's going to take some work on your part to make that happen. Okay, Rossi. So I got Jupiter in Libra. This is all about working with partnerships to grow and expand our network and grow and expand in our own way. Libra is the house of other. It's the house of our relationships and of marriage. I have Jupiter in my seventh house, and I got a good one. So, and it's in Scorpio, so I got a spiritual husband. But for you, what I'm seeing is this is more along the lines of this. You're not going to be doing this alone because it's going to take some cooperation. With another or a group of people to help make this happen. Okay, so the trip is going to be a little bit of a homework assignment, so to speak. Okay, so oh, you're a Libra. Okay, there you go. You're going to need to balance things out. The Jupiter tells me that's a big yes card. Okay, because he's the Santa Claus in the zodiac, and he's currently in Taurus, which is ruled by Venus, who also rules Libra. So luck is on your side right now. And he just entered Rohini today. I did a video on it. I'm super excited about it because that's my ascendant. So I asked what this move would look like, what you can expect, and how you can make it happen. And the first card I got was the Eight of Pentacles. So do your best. This is the card of craftsmanship, study, diligence, expertise, skill, and dedication. So you're going to be required to do a little research. Okay. And pay attention to those details as you're doing it, because look at the detail that this particular person is putting onto her project. If you emulate a skills craftsman approach, that will lead to prosperity in your endeavor. Okay. Put in your best effort and take pride in your work as you go through this, and present yourself as an individual that knows what they're doing without appearing obsessive as you go through this. Okay, so you've honed your skills, you've mastered a lot of talents in life, and you can use that to make this happen. Okay, Rossi, avoid the trap of perfectionism on this focus and getting the job done well. Because if you are a sidereal Libra, if you are a Western Libra, that would make you a sidereal Virgo, and both of those signs in Jyotish can struggle with perfectionism. Okay, so just be open to the possibility of encountering some of those things as you go through this, that perfectionism piece. Okay, so dedicate yourself to using those beautiful talents, but don't let the talents get in the way of the goal. All right. When you do that, I got the Ace of Cups. This is going to be a really beautiful emotional release for you. It's going to bring in a lot of open-hearted, beautiful opportunities for you, because Ace of Cups is one of the best cards to get in the tarot. It's happiness. It's creative energy. It marks a wonderful new beginning for you. So if this is a project that really ignites your passion and brings you into your heart space, and it excites you and it challenges you, it's definitely supported by spirit. Okay, so it can bring you a fabulous experience if you embrace this heart-based energy I see coming your way. It flows really, really freely. Okay, because it's from the divine. All right. That also tells me that you have some good dharma in your chart that's going to come due, which is excellent. So know that joy, health, and happiness and excitement, they're all being presented to you on a silver platter in the next journey that you're taking. So embrace these gifts of love and appreciate the positive impacts and really feel them in that heart space, in that anahata space, because ooh, it's some good stuff. Okay. So good cards, Rossi. I love it when I'm not getting the bad ones. Okay. I went to my creativity oracle to look to see how this journey was going to be for you. And I got start, originality, and success. All good cards. Let's do it the start because that's where you're at right now. You're just getting started. You must start from where you are, examine your situation, and take a chance. Okay, so this is a yes card to go ahead and start the process. Then I got originality. Feel lighthearted and free while trusting that your unique way of doing things is the right way. So even though you're going to be cooperating with others in this, you are a Libra. Yeah, it comes naturally to you. So trust your intuition and your actions as you move forward. And then I got the lovely success card. I wore this to a job interview and got a job. I have a jacket from Amy Zerner. That's what this is, and it's my success jacket. It brings me a lot of good energy. So I'm really glad that I pulled this card for you. Enjoying your life and the unfolding of your creative abilities as much as possible is the real success. Really great cards for moving. So let's see what you say here. That's what I want, something I love doing and get excited while doing it. I'm learning all the types of modalities in order to find it. That's fantastic. I love that for you. And you will be successful. Okay. So, and this is the creativity oracle, Jackie. All right. So I did want to go ahead and pull a shamanic healing card for you as you go through this. And what they're saying is don't rush the situation, slow and steady. Okay, Rossi? So more often than not, divine timing and our timing are not the same. Okay, so when you try to speed up a life experience or a relationship or even the project of moving to Florida, you can circumvent necessary experiences or lessons along the way that will contribute to a more perfect outcome. Okay, so know that wherever you are in this situation, this is a great place for you to be. Um, if this place is causing you any sort of anxiety, look within and ask yourself why. What are your fears surrounding any perceived delays that come along the way and getting to where you want to go now? Okay, so if there's any delays, any little hiccups, go in. All right, because they're happening for a reason. Is to route you in a way that makes the outcome blessed. Okay, uh, think about what's the worst that can happen. What's the best that can happen? What if you remove the words best and worst and just let things unfold in their own pace without attaching judgment? Okay, so slow and steady, see the delays as blessings. And I think that, and ways to improve the situation, and you're going to be successful, but it's going to take some work on your part. Okay, good to see you, Viviani. And yeah, so, and Kelsey, I went ahead and put your question in. Know everybody that we're doing tippers first, and we'll try to get to lightning round at the end, okay? And just to let everybody know, we have ES or Alana next, and then we have Amanda E. Nakano, and then Patty D. Okay, so without ado, I'm excited to see what Jonathan has to say. So,
Rossi, darn, I want your reading. You're headed in the right direction. It's going to be spectacular. You'll know it when you see it, and you're already get excited learning all types of modalities in order to find it. You are standing at the edge, not of a cliff, but at a golden opportunity. You just have to be sure it's a real opportunity, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be that hard to spot. You know, I've listened to many, many, many readings that Michelle has done. Very few are that gesundheit. Very few are that positive. And this reader does not just hand out positive readings because they think somebody needs a lift, you know. Um, the thing that I think I would be careful of if I had gotten that reading and I were kind of, again, standing at the edge of opportunity, like it seems that you are, is keep your eyes open, be not suspicious, but curious. about everything, because some things may come your way that are similar, but similar to what you're looking for or should take, but that's not it. Sometimes we get a little test or two. Can you lift this? Can you jump this high? So to speak. I'm using, symbolic images here, of course. But you might get tested for with something that's the opposite of what you're supposed to do, because you're supposed to turn it down. You know, have a goal in mind. Uh, there's an old saying that I won't really give you the entire part of, but it's basically somebody asked, "How do you know when you see X?" And he says, "I can't define it, but I know it when I see it." You know, that's what you're looking for. You'll know it when you see it, or you feel it, or you walk into that interview and this person is telling you, we need somebody that does this, 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 and this, or can do this, 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 and this for us. And bam, that's it. I would caution you, because it sounds like you got a lot of stuff coming your way. You may have a lot of opportunities. The problem to have is picking one of five really good things. This is the problem to have, and it looks like that's the problem, you know, a happy problem that you're going to get.
Okay, well, that's a great reading, Rossi. So, best of luck to you as you move through that, that's some great stuff. And yeah, welcome, Rishi. It's good to see you. And Keith, I'll go ahead and get your question in. Thank you so much. And Harley says, "Oh wow, Rossi, I'm so happy for you. Yay! All right, that's awesome." Okay, and I remember someone mentioned that they loved Morella's name. Morella and Michelle are the same category in Jyotish, and we belong to Maga Nakshatra, which means the throne. So that's when someone picks out a name in India, it's associated with royalty, so the MIs. So I thought that was really cool. All right. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and get to our next question. Oh, thank you, Morella. You're so sweet. And then Rossi says, you were right, Jonathan. I've been blessed with many good opportunities, but that is the right choice. Okay, that's great. Okay, so let's go ahead and you guys need to be here for the readings, okay? So just make sure you're in the audience, because our next one is ES Alana. Oh wait, no, it's who is it? Yeah, it's Alana. Okay, so or Elena, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I apologize if I'm not. Let me go ahead and find you. Did my boyfriend take my papers? If so, why? I got that there's some trouble in paradise and you need to keep your involvement hidden right now. Okay, and I'm going to go into why I think that's going on. So here we go. Let me get the questions open so I can see you come in. Okay, Jonathan was saying the same thing as I was writing it. Oh, he does that. I love that. Okay, so I got Libra 12th house and 6th house. Okay, Libra is all about the house of relationships. 6 is all about service, and 12th house is all about hidden things and secrets, asylums, prisons, things like that. So there is something missing in both of these areas. The 6th house also rules our hidden enemies. Okay, so there is a hidden enemy in your midst. All right, that's kind of the overall energy that I got. I asked if it was him. I got the Ace of Hearts, which tells me that if it wasn't intended to harm you in any way, shape, or form. There's something going on mentally here. So I went to my cards and I asked mentally, what the heck is going on here? And I got the Ace of Swords. Okay, the Ace of Swords is all about using your mind to find the answer. Focus is really key. This card wields a double-edged sword. It represents both attack and defense, okay? While the overall influence is very positive, you need to be cautious of spreading yourself too thin with too many ideas, goals, or thoughts in your head. This tells me there's a lot going on in there, okay? To achieve success, you need to channel all of your energy into a singular point or focus, because you might be a little scattered mentally. By honing in your concentration, you'll unlock profound insights and ideas moving forward. So you're determined to triumph over falsehoods in your life when I get this card. You want to be right. You want to point out the ignorance and challenge it. Okay. So you're standing up for your very deeply held principles. You're leaving a mark. You're cutting through illusions that may have clouded your judgments. You're clearing away the old, more stagnant aspects of your mind to make room for new growth and new beginnings. And only then can your unique plans really come to fruition. And that's keeping things organized and your goals ahead. Okay. So present your ideas with clarity and precision regarding what you've asked about. Cut to the chase and avoid being forceful. Ask him point blank, did you steal my papers? If so, where are they and why'd you do it? Okay. I got the Ace of Hearts for whether or not he did or didn't. So I don't think it's coming from any type of malintent, but it's important that you stand up for your beliefs without imposing them on others. So when you do come to this person and ask them, did you take my papers or not? Do so without climbing and clinging to your feelings. Do it without emotion is the main thing they're saying. The reason I say that is you're out of balance when it comes to your relationship. I got the Two of Cups, but it came up reversed. Okay. So when I get this energy, what it's telling me is that you need to focus on coming across as more Libra-like when it comes to addressing the issue at hand, okay? Try to see it from both perspectives, see it from both sides of the fence, okay? Because in being confrontational and allowing anger to come through in the conversation, you're not going to be successful, okay? So when this comes up reversed, it tells me that you need to learn to trust your heart, okay? There might be a new romance coming your way after this because the trust is, they're showing me that it's a little broken here because you're feeling unfulfilled in this relationship. You need to move beyond your defenses a little bit, and you'll discover that the feelings that you have can't be bought or taken away by time. Okay. So past experiences of thoughtless treatment from, they're showing me a parent, a lover, and a partner have left marks in your life, and you're responding in a way that's a little emotional right now. It's making it difficult for you to trust other people. So you can heal this wound by opening your heart and allowing new love energy to enter. And that's why I think I got the Ace of Hearts. Okay. So they're saying to move forward and not look back from this situation. So then I asked why it happened, okay? I got the changes card. This is a transformation card. And you can see this. There's like ripples, and they're being formed from a very tiny drop of water, okay? That tells us that the smallest of changes in your life can bring about the greatest rewards. So think about things that you can change in your life. They don't have to be like grand sweeping changes, okay? They can be little things, little judicious small things that can add up and become big changes over time, like the ripple in the pond here. So clean out the clutter, commit to taking better care of your health and your environment, organize your life in a way where your documents and your personal information is stored appropriately. I went through a test of this last December when my social media accounts and emails were hacked, and it was someone I knew. And I had to basically move through that situation with as much grace as possible. And what it did was, hey, baby, two-factor authentication on everything I've got, and I'm impenetrable now. So see this as a way to better organize your life and protect your assets, okay? Because big changes are coming your way. When I am betrayed or something like that happens, I see that as a big change coming my way. Let's see what you're saying here. That is me. Oh, hidden enemy. Okay. I asked and he denied. I think he was being nosy, didn't get put back in there, and I noticed the missing. Trust doesn't exist anymore. If the trust doesn't exist anymore, ES, then you're not going to be happy in this relationship. That's why I got the Ace of Hearts. You need to move into something new and in a relationship where you feel that you, I mean, if you can't live with the person, like, I mean, I've had roommates steal stuff, it's like, you guys, and I'm like, I can't be a roommate with you anymore because you're going to come into my room and get into my stuff, without asking me. That's not okay. Best of luck to you. I'll pray for you to not be a thief, but that's just something to consider. Okay. So, yes, never store the key to your safe in a bag and beside your safe. Yeah, that's things like that. And again, I went through this whole thing back in December, and what it did was it's preparing us for when we are more popular and more successful and we come across personalities that can do that. We are protecting ourselves moving forward. Okay, so he denied it. Okay, you don't trust them. If you don't trust them, don't be in a relationship with someone you don't trust. I got the Two of Cups reversed. Things are broken. Your emotional trust is broken with this person. So learn from this. I suggest you, I know this is hard. I do this for my exes and my ex family. Okay, I pray for them every day. Okay, I pray for them to see the rights of their wrong. And what that does is it helps me not harbor any hatred or betrayal in my heart. Because if I do that, I'm not a good reader, and those voices come in that aren't my guides, and they interfere with my readings and my best interests moving forward. So I highly suggest that if you're carrying around a lot of mistrust, if you are kind of dealing with that, do that, okay? And then move on and try to attract a better person next time, okay? So, regardless, he's denied it, okay? You don't trust them. Move on because you don't want to be with this person anyway, okay? And then just learn from it. I'm excited to see what Jonathan has to say because he helped me out of a real big situation about 10 years ago. So, and he also has a paralegal background dealing with divorces and issues with partnerships. So expect, yes, please stay in the audience because he's probably going to ask you some questions. Okay, ES, and I'm sending you lots of love as you work through this. Okay, sweetie?
Yeah, I feel for you. You've been put in a really bad situation, and I'm going to sound like a TV cop here, but what what I would look at is motive and opportunity. And then you could also go why. Motive, you tried to find out. He had the opportunity, clearly. Uh, I'm just getting this from your remarks. If I'm incorrect, correct me, but it sounded like he had access to where the papers were, whether they were locked up or not. And you suspected him probably immediately because not that many people had access to where the papers were. So he had opportunity. So what would the motive be? You asked him, "Did you take my papers?" And he denied it. That's a hard no on everything. You know, you still suspect him, or you wouldn't be here asking this question. I think it's a good idea for you to ask that question because if you're having this level of trouble now and you get into a more serious relationship, like marriage, which has legal implications, community property, that sort of thing. It also sounds like he might have been your first, because he had access to where these papers were kept. Your first impulse was, or maybe one of your first impulses was him. And he's being snoopy and that sort of thing. So, as harsh as this sounds, I think you may have been given an opportunity to just say, well, I don't believe you. I think you did it. You're not being honest with me. And don't let the door hit you on the way out. Uh, I know that sounds harsh, but based on what I'm feeling, I'm not the premier psychic in this family, but I've been around some angry folks before. I know you're angry. I know you feel betrayed. This same thing happened to me in a whole different context. You feel angry, you feel betrayed, you feel stupid because you didn't have appropriate, locks or whatever to keep the papers out of the hands of somebody who. The other thing is, you might have even showed him the papers if he'd asked, but he just pow went past it and did what he wanted to do. This does not seem like a long-term relationship possibility, and if it's unresolved, it will always be hanging in the air. And sooner or later, you're going to have a heated discussion, and this is going to come up again. I haven't trusted you since I think you stole my papers. You could have just told me I was snooping around and I didn't have time. You caught me in the middle and I was going to put them back later and it didn't happen. But he didn't do that. This is always going to be standing in the air between you. And so I'm not going to tell you leave this person or stay with this person. I'm going to tell you do what you feel your heart wants you to do. If you feel that if they did admit or you found out they in fact did this in the future, can you forgive them? Could you have forgiven them if he'd said, or he or she said, yeah, I did it. I was nosy and I wanted to see that letter. Could you have forgiven them? It was dumb to not store the key in a separate location. No, I wouldn't say that because, again, if you trust this person, you can leave the key in a known location. So you're questioning yourself because you're a nice person and you want to think the best of people. And frankly, you probably don't want to have to go out and, you know, try to find another spot or another person to fill a spot in your relationship life. I think you may be giving what you could do? Give him or her one final chance. Just say, look, I talked to some people. Here's what they said. This is if you believe that they did it. I feel you believe they did it. That's why you're here asking. We're anonymous. We don't know who you are. We don't know who they are, right? Whatever we say to you is just like, secret. I asked some people, they said to give you one more chance. If you did in fact do it, tell me now. And if they say, yes, I did it, then you have to deal with forgiveness. If they say, nope, that is always going to be in your relationship. That will become the heart of your relationship. And someday something will happen and that will explode all over the room. So anyway, that's my grumpy guy answer to that. That's what I would do. I would give, if I seriously had concerns that they were, in fact, the only person that had access, the only person that knew where it was or whatever. In fact, if there were more than one person, I would put this to everyone involved if you care that much about them. Clearly move them now. Get a bank deposit box if you have to. But yes, in fact, secure them now. But you've got some hard choices to make, but you need to make some choices. Don't just let this sitting there. Hope that helps.
Yeah, and ES definitely double check your cybersecurity and things too, because that's another thing that can happen as well. And again, I had roommates in college in the, early 2000s, and I ran into stuff like that too. So it's not easy. It sucks to be taken advantage of, especially if that's, yeah. So we hope that was helpful and that you can learn from that and know that you're not alone. So it just tells me that you're a trusting person. Okay. Oh, only he and I have been in the house. Well, unless someone broke a window and came in, there you go. So, and thank you for sending love, Jackie. You're the sweetest. Okay, and Karen, I do see you, Lakaviti. Went ahead and get your question in. Just to let everybody know, as far as the questions, we have Amanda Nakano, and I'm not seeing your question, so go ahead and get your question in. Otherwise, I'm just going to give you a general. And then we have Patty D after that, and then we'll go ahead into lightning round and try to get a few of your questions there, unless we receive other tips. If you did tip, let us know, okay? Because I'm going to go ahead and check. I'm checking now. Let's see. Okay, yeah. I'm not seeing your question in the chat either, Amanda. So please go ahead and make sure that you do that and put your question in so I can be a little more specific. Otherwise, I'm just going to go ahead and give you a general. Okay, darling? All right. You're so welcome, ES. Yeah, thank you, Amarella. You guys are the best. All right, Tropical Empress, you are in. We have 14 star, just to let you guys know. So, and you're Amanda. Oh, thanks. Thank you so much. Okay, got you. I got you. Awesome. All right, so do my spirit guides have any messages for me? Okay, yes, they do. Okay, so the first thing I got is Libra in the third house. Okay, I'm going to read across the cards because I think this is an important message. The cooperation to perfect your ideas, decisions about short term thinking and trips, and resulting from the fairness shown by who and what is around you. The third house is all about how we communicate, how we intellectualize. It represents short term trips, neighbors, things like that. Libra is using cooperation to perfect these areas of your life. So your guides are going to bring you more amazing tribe members. I was like, yay, I love it when I see that. There's usually some weeding that takes place. So I look for that a little bit too, okay, Amanda? So take care, Nivra. Sending you lots of love. Okay, so I got the second house and the fourth house. I don't know if you're married, but this is my marriage card. I got two marriage cards for you and a really good partnership. Okay, so you can let me know if you are or not. If you are, this is an improvement in your existing relationship. If you're not, it's coming. Okay, so when I pull the when I pull the Two of Cups, this is two hearts beating as one. This is you're not alone. Turn on your love light. There's a willingness to listen and share and commit yourself to people. Beautiful heart-centered interactions will pay off. True love. I mean, it's good stuff. It's a heartfelt emotional exchanges, passionate feelings that are reciprocated, pleasurable attraction and compatibility, great conversation, and and great sex. So this is all good things coming your way. I love it when this stuff happens. Then I got the Four of Wands. This is about harmony. It's completion. It's building a foundation for stability in your relationships. It's finding equilibrium and appreciation. So this is all about counting your blessings. You are surrounded by a radiant aura of optimism. Yay. You can feel supported, validated, and rightly proud of your accomplishments moving forward. Not only are these positive feelings going to lift your spirits, but the work that you've done and you put in will establish a very strong foundation for your future. Awesome. So, time to throw a party, whether it's celebrating the completion of something beautiful or to just revel in the general happiness of your life, it's supported. You deserve to rejoice right now. Have a gathering with friends, family, and loved ones. This is a moment in your life where you're going to truly appreciate what you've achieved, even in the face of challenges. So, if you feel secure in your current path, there may be a lingering worry of losing the foundation that you've worked so hard to build. Trust in the good fortune and positive energy you've created and take a moment to express gratitude for your blessings. So make a gratitude list if you're feeling a little like you don't feel like this energy is coming your way, and it will manifest because that's what my cards are saying. I did find a block. I always ask that when I go to my cards, okay? So, you're married 22 years this month. Well, congratulations. That's fantastic. So this is some of the stuff that I see you kind of working through in your relationship. I got the anger card. Okay, this is the little hornet. Anger is a very strong and primal emotion. It catches us by surprise sometimes, okay? Especially if you have lots of fire in your chart. It's something that we're working on. So anger, know that it's based in fear, fear of loss, fear of not being in control, fear of not being loved, fear of being judged, fear of not being enough. We all go through this, day in and day out with different circumstances and people because we're feeling people, okay? When anger enters your life, be it yours or someone else's, try to go beneath the surface and address the real fear that triggered it. Ask you why you're feeling fear. Jonathan and I do this all the time. When he's coming at me with a lot of anxiety or he's kind of quiet, more quiet than normal, I'll ask him, hey, what's up? And then I'll say, what caused that emotion? What made you think of that? And he'll literally go as far back as his childhood, identify it, we'll talk about it, we'll do a mantra, and we'll try to heal each other. And he does the same thing for me. So anger doesn't go away without addressing the underlying fear that one of you or both of you are carrying. So just beware that someone's anger may be directed toward you in the relationship department. And that is the block. There might have been some anger that's there. It's beneath the surface, okay? So what can you do? What can you tap into to heal this particular area that I'm seeing? And I got ancient wisdom. I don't know if you've been studying something new, but hey, it's working. Vedic astrology is something that changed the way that I think about the world, my relationships, and the way that I go about my daily routines. Ancient wisdom can do the same for you. Okay, so nature is, you see, there's a lot of nature here. in this card, and all the beautiful trees, birch trees specifically. So nature's the perfect place for you to go out and center yourself, okay, Amanda? And it's gonna ground out any excessive noise in your head, is what they're showing me. In nature, all of the secrets of the universe are held. We try to go on nature walks 2 to 3 times a day. So, it could be from the fiercest energy, like a raging storm, or nurturing, loving, like a very nurturing, loving energy of like 100-year-old grove of trees, something like that. I also do tarot when I'm out. I'll see like three crows and be like, "Oh, that's the betrayal card." Three of swords. Because they represent feathers and thought. Or I'll see a couple of otters playing out in the river, and I'll be like, "Ooh, two of cups. Good day to focus on relationships." Okay, so look for those little signals and symbolism from spirit out there. Okay, just get out in nature and find out what it's trying to tell you. Trees just want to be trees. They're not trying to be boulders. Okay, wolves are wolves. They don't know any other way of being and living. So don't try to try to push the synchronicities that they're showing you. Like they've been giving me ospreys constantly, two of them. That's two of swords. I have to make a decision moving forward. Okay. The energy vibration could be so different than the human experience when you get out of nature. Okay. It's full of pure love. There's no judgment. It's just acceptance from them. So when you tap into the ancient wisdom of the natural world, you're going to find peace within yourselves and in your marriage. So going out on nature walks and doing that is highly recommended here. So you're asking to come to peace with who you are and what you have to offer your marriage and your relationships. Okay. So that is the way through it, is tapping into that a little bit. So I'm a Pisces sun, Taurus moon, and Aries rising. He's a Taurus sun. I don't know his chart. Okay, well, I do give Kundalini readings where I look at both of your charts and I find out what your strengths and your weaknesses are. I compare and contrast them, and they find ways to work. Like, for instance, Jonathan and I, our Mercuries are incredibly uncompatible because mine is really, really watery. It's linked to all three water signs in the Vedas. And so I tend to be more, I am an intellectual when it comes to astrology, but I rely a lot on intuition. And so when you're in the watery area of Ravati, which is the lotus, and your Mercury and Rahu, your Mercury and Ketu, your past life planet, are there, which they are for mine. And when you look at his, and he's like the guru and the king, which is very 3D, I have to do active listening with him all the time because I'll say something with a lot of meaning and he'll take it 3D. And he'll say something 3D and I'll take it as like an intuitive, spiritual underlying message, right? So we have to go back and forth with each other to make sure that the messages are getting across. I suggest the same thing for you. The best time and the best conversations that we have are out in nature. And we notice the plants and the trees in nature, and we talk about our day and what we want to kind of see happen with our goals moving forward. So you are in the mountains on 8 acres surrounded by nature. Well, that's probably why I got really good cards for you regarding this. So yeah, so definitely look into those things. The one thing that I got for you when you do go out in nature that both of you can do is some grounding exercises, because I got the I am grounded card and you see how he's outside. When life overwhelms us, it's time to get outside and touch the earth and ground ourselves, reestablishing our essential unity with nature. I breathe in the comfort of Mother Earth. I am filled with connection to the Earth's center. I breathe out anxiety. These are from all different decks, and they pointed me to these decks, and they carry the same message. Nature is your healer. It's going to improve your marriage and remove some of the underlying or simmering anger that I see there from being misheard or underrepresented in your goals and your objectives. Okay, that's the Pisces in you. Okay, that's why I mentioned Pisces, because I tend to be very watery in my conversations with Jonathan. With that, is I go from Cancer in my birth chart to Pisces in my Navamsha chart, which is my marriage chart. And so I'm very watery with my communications, and he's very fiery because he's Leo and Sagittarius. And so we have to do that to kind of like get on even keel with each other. So I hope that was helpful. Good to see you, Neilani. And yeah, so I'm excited to see what Jonathan has for you. And I'm excited for your marriage, Amanda. That's great.
Yeah, I concur. Again, I'm not the intuitive here, but I understand what you're saying. I understand the experiences that you have. Um, I would, I think you just need to go with it. You want to always be aware, and again, as Michelle has said, I'm not a reader, I'm more of an intuitive. I just sort of feel or know or, uh, can bring things up and then wonder where that come from. But what I'm feeling about your situation is it's almost too good. You know, there's a lot of good stuff. There's some odd stuff in there. Where isn't there? You know, we live in a very confused and confusing time, and to have any sort of stability that you can count on, like, again, this young lady here is a fountain of stability. I'm very sort of angry, mercurial, whatever you want to call it. Uh, I don't tend to take action, but I can get mad because I can't take action. But you know, it does sound like you have found yourself a of the potential for a tremendously satisfying experience, but it needs maintenance, just like growing. You could have the most fertile earth on the most fertile soil on earth, but you still have to prepare it carefully, put the right seeds in, make sure there's water if it doesn't rain, that sort of thing. But overall, really, I don't sense a lot of um, trouble or anxiety. It's just you want to be prudent. You want to know, should I take the shortcut or the long way? Which is there more traffic? Is it going to take longer? Overall, yeah, I know that sometimes it's just the way that it is, and that's the way that it is.
Okay, one of the things that Jonathan says is sometimes it just bees that way.
Mine, yeah.
Yeah, that's a quote from his friend. So, yeah, welcome, Courtney. Good to see you, honey. All right. So, hopefully, I'm not missing too many of you. I did see Leilani come in too. And okay, so we hope that was helpful, Tropical, and we're sending you lots of love, Amanda, as you go through that. And come back and let us know how you're doing. Oh, you sound like you live in paradise. I love that. Okay, so let me try to find the next person. I believe it is Patty D. Yes. Okay, Patty D, here we go. So, Patty D, I've checked out 2 doctor's offices to help me with my osteoarthritis. I'm so sorry, sweetie, from my knee and do physical PRP. Is there one that I will choose that will be very helpful with my knee issue so I can move forward in doing things? Okay, well, my heart goes out to you right now, Patty D. I know that there's a lot of planetary energy hitting people in the health department since the eclipse. And the reason I say that is because I got Uranus and Virgo for you. Uranus is my tower card in astrology. What he does is he creates really difficult challenges. To our cars and go a different way. Okay, that's kind of the way I see Uranus. He strikes lightning in our lives in order to create sudden change. So this is a lightning moment in your life. And when I get Virgo, in which was where the eclipses are taking place last year and this year, it tells me that your health needs to be number one. Okay. You need to treat it like a job. Okay. It's like taking on a contract, so to speak. It literally says, stir up the situation by the serving of others, be open and new and ideas about the details of, invent a way that you must do and do it well. So what I'm getting is heal thyself when I get this card. And I went, how can she heal herself? This is an osteoarthritis thing. And, she needs to see some people to help her with that. And I'm glad that you are. Um, the reason I say that is that the current methodology is not working very well for you. I got the 10 of Swords, and this is for entertainment purposes only. The 10 of Swords indicates to me that you have hit a little bit of rock bottom here. Okay. This is ruin, it's betrayal, it's dilemma, it's failure. This is a hard card. Okay. That you're going through a challenging time. You've experienced the shatterings of hopes and dreams in this area. Take comfort in knowing that the worst is behind you. Okay, regarding your situation. Um, I know that you're facing a lot of struggle in this area. It's to create greater wisdom and compassion for others. That's why you're going through it, and to help you be more aware of what's going on with your body as you're out. Okay. This is a deep wound that they're asking you to address, and the healing will take time. So this is as above, so below. This is not just a 3D wound that they're showing me. It's okay. They're saying that your healing will be like coming out of the ashes of shattered dreams. Okay. New aspirations and goals will emerge from this. So you're going to have to let go of some stuff. It's time to just surrender and trust that you have the strength and the resilience to persevere beyond whatever you thought possible. So you're going to, whew, you're going to open up some new doors with this energy. So in the midst of your distress, okay, it may seem like you have little to offer others as you go through this. However, remember that you are more fortunate than many people, and keep this perspective in mind to find solace in sharing and expressing your pain, because what I'm getting is this is going to turn you into a healer. Okay, they're activating something on a soul level for you, Patty D. I don't know if you are a shamanic healer, but I went to my shamanic healing deck and I got the healing energy card. This is hands. This is Hasta energy. This is the ability to heal with one's hands. Okay. Drawing this card guides you to work with energy on a healing level. There's something inside of you that you can tap into. That's why I got the heal thyself, that Uranus Virgo energy. Take a class, go and receive some Reiki healing, or just sit in meditation and concentrate on being mindful. Uh, the healing energy of divine love, you do not have to know how to do everything because it's in you, okay? Um, just sit silently and let your intuition let fill that cup, that beautiful cup, okay? When you're living in this vibration of meditation, of calm, you're in a vibration of healing. Okay, not only for yourself, but everyone around you. You're going to start emanating this. You see how there's like healing energy coming out of the hand? Others then can connect with your energy and their vibrations can rise as a result. So there's no need to force this. It just happens naturally. This is basically how energy works. Your vibrational change will affect the change in ones that you're closest to. So just be aware of that. And know that healing is coming your way, and you'll be able to do it in ways that you never thought possible. So there is a spiritual component to this. Okay, Patty D. And they're asking you to step into that. And you're going to be able to not only heal yourself, but others through this process. So obviously go to those beautiful 3D doctors, find that beautiful physical therapist that can help you before, during, and after the procedures. But see this as a chance for you to expand spiritually and learn a new modality, because I am getting that you have healing hands. Okay. I did pick an affirmation card for you, and there's a hand involved in this too. And the person who created these images is a Hasta Nakshatra, and she is able to create healing images and images from spirit. So my daydreams and dreams change my world. Our dreams help us create our material reality as surely as our material reality helps us create our dreams. Get plenty of rest so you'll be strong enough to make your dreams come true. That tells me that they're going to be coming to you in the dream world to offer you healing as well. Our guides can heal us in our dreams and in our sleep, and they can come to us at night. While you do that, be open to the healing that you're receiving from them and try to transmute it into a modality from which you can heal others. Okay, this could be a divine Shakti in your chart. This would be Sidereal Virgo, which would be Western Libra. I don't know if you have that in your chart, but that's Hasta energy. And Hastas are getting hit by the eclipses. So that would explain why you're having some issues with your health right now, too. Okay, I have taken lilac healing classes and Reiki many years ago, but didn't practice. Well, it's there. Okay, they're wanting you to open those coffers again. I had stem cells done. It worked for 5 years. It wore off. Now I'm looking to get help again. Okay, so you're looking for a more long-term solution to your problem. And if you can heal thyself and find ways to do that, that would be, and you are a Libra. Okay, that's great. All right. So that would be Sidereal Virgo. You're getting hit with the eclipses. Okay, that's what's causing a decrease in your vitality. Okay, love? So I hope that was helpful. I'm sending you lots of love as you go through that, and I'm excited to see what Jonathan has for you. Okay?
Yeah, I have a little experience with doctors and hospitals. Long ago and far away, I worked in a hospital for a while, a number of years, And my mother was a nurse, and so I've been around hospitals and doctors and things all my life. But I really got familiar with the interior of the medical industry when I had to go through a couple of years of chemotherapy when I had Hodgkin's lymphoma back in the 90s. And um, what I learned is you're correct. You want to get the doctor. There was a doctor that made me feel really good. I mean, he was Mr. Got this covered, got a lot of patients, been through this, such and so. And there's another guy that was kind of a jerk. Um, and I went to both of them more than once. I had a Hodgkin's lymphoma. It was actually, it was like stage 4. So I was a real idiot. Talk about ignoring symptoms. I was passing out while driving and stuff like that. Young and stupid. That's the definition. But the guy that I ended up going through the treatment with was the guy that had the more brusque manner. And I realized that that was because he didn't have any time for you to lose. You need, when you're, now I'm osteoarthritis is not as, let's say, time sensitive. It's uncomfortable to be sure, and I'm sure it's painful, and nobody wants this. Um, but in this case, I had already waited about 2 years too long, and I was about to move to stage 4, and that's, nobody wants to be there. So I interviewed a number of doctors. I interviewed several of them several times, and I ended up going with a guy who was very sort of almost told me to get out of his office about the third time I wanted to meet with him. It's like, if you can't tell that I can do what I tell you I'm going to do, then I'm not your guy. I mean, I'm not sure. It's been a number of years. I think he may actually have said something very similar to that. Here I am again, having another consult, and he's like, "You're not under treatment yet?" I'm not saying that you're doing this. I'm just saying it's a very serious thing that you're talking about. Your mobility is a very serious thing. My dying of lymphoma was a very serious thing. So you want to make that choice. I finally went with my gut. This is for entertainment purposes only, you know, but I'm telling you, your gut, if you have a specifically stronger feeling for one doctor over another doctor, all qualifications being equal, and that was my case. I had two equally qualified doctors, both had surviving patients that I was allowed to interview. One guy just felt better for me than the other guy. So if that's your situation, if you have two doctors that are equally qualified, they have equal success rates, the thanks, Marilla. You have the hospitals are the same, all things being equal, go with the guy that you feel that is going to be your doctor, but your doctor that's also a human guy that you can be frank with, because you're going to be going through stuff quickly. Once they start treatment, it's going to be like the stop light at rush hour. The light changes, you better be in that intersection. Um, it sounds like you've done a lot of prep, um, but I would take one more try. Just tell them both. I'd like to just come in and talk about some things to settle my nerves. And honestly, if one of them said, "I've told you enough," I'd go with the other one, because that guy is going to not take the time that they need. And I can tell you, hospitals nowadays are not the hospitals that I went to. I've I've been in the hospitals recently for other people, other reasons. They're not like they used to be. And again, I grew up. My mother was a nurse, and we lived across the street from the hospital that she worked in. I've spent more time in hospitals than probably anybody not in the medical profession. So this is what I would do. That's what I'm telling you. Not giving you a diagnosis, not giving you a determination. This is for entertainment purposes only. But I would go in and sit down with the doctors, and I would go with the one that treated me more like the human that he wanted to treat than a patient that he's going to keep like out here. You know. I hope that's of some help.
Yeah, tropical. Amy says that she dealt with a back injury from a car accident. She had several MRIs done and they found nothing wrong, but I still had severe pain. I saw over 20 different doctors and they all said I was mental. And then Jackie says she lost her mom to non-Hodgkin's in 1994. Hugs, sweetie. I'm so sorry you
Mm,
went through that. I know that that got Jackie Onassis too, Jackie Kennedy
yeah.
as well. Um,
Non-Hodgkin's is a lot harder to treat.
yeah, it is. It is. And then Patty D says, I've researched a lot and I'm seeing one tomorrow for the evaluation, and the other one I talked to on the phone. Okay.
Yep.
So,
There's somebody out there that you're going to click with, you know. And again, if all the credentials are the same, go with the one that you can put your trust in.
yeah, and Marilla says, Patty D, wishing you the most benevolent outcome. And Patty says, you were both very helpful. Thank you for your help and guidance. Hugs to you both. Hugs to you too, sweetie. And then Tropical's just adding, I finally saw a different doctor who never thought I heard of. He examined me and said I had a serious injury. He suggested a different test. So sometimes
Mm,
getting that second opinion or third or fourth can help
yeah.
when it comes to doing that. And thank you so much, Harley. I love him very much. I appreciate that. Okay. Oh my goodness. So we're ready for lightning round. You ready for lightning round, Jonathan? Yes. And Patty
So
says
can I
thank you for
just
all
go
your
thumbs up or thumbs down? Is that
whatever you want to do, babe.
okay?
Like seriously, you and he is psychic, guys. He's led me on a lot of different projects and stuff. He's just very yeah. You
People tell me I'm grounded.
yeah, there you go. My goodness. Oh my gosh, so Marilla too. Okay. Yeah, they're actually relating non-Hodgkin's to a lot of the pesticides in our food now.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's what's causing it. And you can be included, Harley. I went ahead and starred you. Okay. Oh, wow. So he found the problem after 4 years of research. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, I'm glad that you found that, Amanda. That's huge. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go into lightning round. I'm going to go ahead and put that the questions are closed because, that's what happens. So let me just go ahead and do that real quick so that we don't get a million questions. There we go. And do. Okay, I'm going to your starred comments. The first one, and some people might not be here. I think Nivra left. If you're here, Nivra, go ahead and let us know, but I did see that you left. So there's Nivra, and then we have Who Rue, and then we have Jessica Lynn. Are you three here? Yes, we were glad you were persistent too, Amanda. That's awesome. That's beautiful. You're welcome, Harley. I appreciate the dance parties. Okay, so Naira, Who, Rue, and Jessica. I'll wait for you to check in. We have Tara Laspina. I love your photo. You're pretty. We have Marianne Vancouver. I love your photo too. I love that sunset. It's gorgeous. And then we have the lovely Kelsey Wells. Okay, so are any of y'all here? I'm just going to go down the list. Oh, Kelsey Wells is here. Yay! Okay, you're first, Kelsey. Okay, I've applied for an entry-level job at Danone, big company. Okay, will I secure an interview there? If you make the right connections. I got third house. So really, really pay attention to the way that you're doing your I think you already had you applied for it. Will I secure an interview? Okay. You gotta kill the interview. That's what I'm getting. Okay. So this is all about communicating the best interest. Some of the best, Jonathan and I have our own company and we interview people all the time. So I know he's going to provide you with a lot of things that you can bring there because he's very practical, triple Capricorn and Western guys. But what I'm getting from Spirit is that you need to come in with a lot of self-love and a lot of self-esteem to this interview and know a lot about the company when you come in and ask them more questions than they ask you. Act incredibly interested. Okay. The main thing that I got for you with the company is I did get the self-love card from the Shamanic Healing Oracle. So when it comes to, that's why I said self-love. When it comes to self love, some of us can woefully fall short, okay, because those little voices that aren't ours. To love yourself is to accept imperfections and embrace learning the battle through the all-consuming fires of self-doubt in order to find that energetic balance within us. So don't come in with any self-doubt if you come into the interview. Be aware of the small little insidious voice that repeats negative self-assessment that we had as children. We all have at least one. It was either a bully or a parent or something in there. Knock them out before the interview. Don't let their negative self-assessment affect your ability to communicate what's best for you in this position. These self-judgments, they have no place in a whole healthy work relationship. And it's vital to have a lot of self-love with yourself to improve this. I put little post-its on the wall, like and on the mirror in the morning, and Jonathan will even help me with a few of the quotes too. So, you know, when you love yourself and you see yourself as the best employee for this company, they're going to see that too. You just have to communicate it. Okay. Um, and let's see if you said anything here. It's the known in Canada. Oh, okay. Very cool. All right. Do you have anything you just want to tag on to that, Jonathan, or?
Well, I would find out everything you can about this company. I mean, look at their annual reports. If they're near where you live, uh, drive by. Drive by during the day. Go into their parking lot if it's available and just drive around. Go into the building if you can and just walk around. The more information you can repeat back to them when you go in for your interview, like I actually walked into your building because I wanted to see what the environment was like. Nobody does that. What they're looking for is somebody that's just going to knock it out of the park. Oddly enough, I've interviewed like this before, and they hired me not because of the knowledge that they were looking for, because let's face it, you don't get the interview if you don't have the credentials or the knowledge. I have a degree in this, I have training in that. You're not even going to get an interview. Beyond that, they're looking for somebody they have to manage and work with. So you want to be the person that they can manage and work with amicably and productively. So you want to talk about the non-work stuff almost as much. Follow their lead. You can also probably ask some questions, and the questions you should ask are the ones that are going to answer the question in their mind, which is, do I want to look at this person for the next 2 to 20 years? So you kind of have to pretend that you're them, figure out what they want, and then give it to them. That's what's worked for me anyway.
Okay, thank you. And someone asked, what is lightning round? Lightning round is just we're much quicker with our questions. We just go, phew. If you pay a tip, we spend a lot more time on you. Okay, Chelpy? Is that your baby? I love, oh my gosh, it's so cute. We're dog people and cat people, and oh my God, that is the cutest baby. I love, oh, okay. Oh, you're so welcome, Kelsey. Best of luck. That's awesome. I love it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the next three. We have the lovely Rishi. I know that you're in the audience, so we'll do you next. We have Keith KJ Jones, and we have Karen Lakovidi. Are you here? And I'm going to go ahead and put Rishi up because I know he's here. You're welcome, Chelpy. Okay, and Kelsey says, I'll keep your advice in mind. You're welcome. Yeah, you asked the right guy. Triple Capricorn had his own business for years, so he knows things about interviews and corporations. And it sounds like that corporation's got a lot of our money because I drink a lot of silk. And we and Jonathan and I also are yogurt people. So yeah, it's a yogi thing. Yogis are all about the dairy, and I can't take straight dairy, so silk is my thing. All right. So, Rishi, I'll go ahead and get to you. I'm still facing challenges in my job hunt. I would appreciate some guidance on how I can manifest it. If a mantra is suggested, that would be great. Of course, I would love to give you some mantras. Okay. So I got Leo. It's time to step into your power, show the world who you are. Okay, Rishi, this is a great card to get. Um, the main card I got for you in your job search is you need to tap into your divine feminine energy that's within you. This is darkness. It's the moon. It's the tides. It's the quiet gestation before the chaos. It's the void. All right. These are all aspects of feminine energy. It's very Parvati, very Kali. So I'm going to give you some mantras for her. So it's all about gestating and nurturing. Okay. It's the opposite of the masculine energy card. Okay. So perhaps if you embrace your more feminine side, that could lead you toward more opportunities to enter the workplace with the type of attitude that they're looking for, because we all carry feminine and masculine energy within us, and the feminine energy is the harder one to embrace in the workplace. Okay, it requires trust and a lack of fear. Okay, so trust that all is as it should be, and the absence of the fear of things not getting done. Okay, because that's what I see you bringing into this experience. Fear does not have a place here. um, they're showing me that in the past you were hurt, and that was when you were embracing your feminine divine energy, and this was more of a physical mental thing that happened. Okay, so this was the free will of the person that hurt you. It was not caused by being who you were. Okay, so do not let the actions of others dictate who you need to be, and examine this beautiful feminine side that you have, Rishi, because if you become friends with her again, that can open up some opportunities in the workplace. So this also represents an important woman in your life too that can help you tap into that as well. Uh, so yeah, I hope that was helpful. I'm kind of excited to see what Jonathan has to say about that.
Hi, Rishi. I have no idea why this mantra came to mind, so it's probably the right one. But it's Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. It's just started going off in my head. And again, I'm not the psychic here. I mean, I got a lot of yoga training, but I'm not the psychic here. So I would go with that. Simple, quick, can do 1,000, quickly. Use a mala, maybe just do 2 malas before you go into your next meeting. You can also, this is hard to do. I've done it. It's harder to do than it sounds, but you can keep your mantra going while you're listening to the people in the interview, and they will think you are so freaking intent listening to what they're saying. They're going to think, this guy's a how is he concentrating this hard? You're concentrating that hard because you're doing this mantra and trying to listen at the same time. So you're tap dancing and cooking at the same time. So, but I think mantra.
Well, and he says, I worship Lord Vishnu every day. And so it's Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya. And Vishnu's wonderful. And I know that the Nirjala Ekadashi is coming up, so that could kind of help too and bring blessings for those 24 Ekadashis. I know that you already participate. Another thing is I'm going to give you a Kali mantra because she is the void. All right. Do you want to do it with me, Jonathan? Yes or no? It's up to you. Jayanti.
Oh.
Okay, we'll do it together. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Om Jayanti
Jayanti
Mangala
Mangala
Kali
Kali
Bhadrakali
Bhadrakali
Kapalani
Kapalani
Durga
Durga
Shama
Shama
Shiva
Shiva
Datri
Datri
Swaha
Swahada
Swada
Swaha
Namostute.
Namostute.
We're a little off there, but it's
Yeah,
I'll just do it by myself really
yeah.
quick.
We're getting a feedback here, so
We're getting feedback. Okay. Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalani Durga Shama Shiva Datri Swaha Swada Namostute. And Kali mantras are best done at night. Okay, so you can, that's what we do at night. And then we also have Om Krim Kalikaye Namaha. Om Krim Kalikaye Namaha. Om Krim Kalikaye Namaha. And she is the feminine energy of our age. And so she can definitely help you through some of those blocks as well and help you open up that part of yourself. She's very chatty once you get to worshiping her as well. And Jonathan is also a huge worshiper of Vishnu. He has a Sri Nantha yoga in his chart, which is the blessing of Vishnu's and his Vishnu. And his yoga teacher is Swami Vishnu Devananda. So there's a lot of Vishnu energy and stuff in his chart as well. So I love that you guys have that in common. I think that's really cool, Rishi. I think that's beautiful. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and look at our next question, our next people. Let's see. So after Rishi, we have, I didn't see Keith come in. If you guys saw Keith come in, let me know. I didn't see Karen. So is Marianne here? Marianne Vancouver, are you here? And Shayna Faison, are you here? please let me know. So we're looking for Marianne and we're looking for Shayna. Are you in our audience? Please. Oh, Marianne is here. Awesome. Thank you so much for checking in, love. And Shayna is here. Fabulous. Okay, so we're going to do Marianne and then we're going to do Shayna. So, do you see a long-term relationship with Anders? Please and thank you. Okay, give me a chance to pull some cards for you. And Jonathan, why don't you take Shayna Faison? Will my grandmother get better, or do you want me to pull some cards for that ahead of time? I can do that too.
Yeah,
I'll pull some cards. Okay,
yeah.
just to give us a good direction. Okay. Okay, I got that this was a karmic relationship. So if you get into it, it's not going to be the best. Okay. So I'm basically saying no just out the gate here. Okay. Let me just go to my relationship deck here. Yeah, I got the communication might not be there for you guys. Okay. Okay. All right, now this is going to be a bit of a quick read, okay, Marianne, because we are in lightning round, so just be aware of that. I got Gemini and South Node. I have a feeling that the communication might not be there for you guys. If you practice a lot of, active listening and you start things from the ground up, that's great. But I got that the information, the communications, the way that you guys interact on a mental level, it's not really matching because the South Node is a big no card, and with Gemini, that tells me that the intellect might not be there or be a very good match for either of you. That's not a no, it's just something you really got to work on, okay? I got some energy about King of Gems energy in and around the relationship. Now, this is the King of Pentacles. This is someone who is a realist. They're very practical. They're good with money. They're good at building community and organizations. This is someone who is money-minded and takes Artha yoga or practical yoga very seriously. But then I got the Ten of Shells reversed, which is, this is an unhappy emotional card. Okay. So even though this is a very practical, this relationship can be built from the ground up on a very solid practical foundation and a financial foundation, the emotional connection may not be there and the mental connection is lacking. So if you're willing to do a lot of therapy and put in the work and do, the things that we were talking about during the show, like the active listening and the kind of pursuing each other in a way of working from the beginning, great. But if you see that the long-term logistics aren't really working out because of a difference of opinion or in your emotional states, then that's what's going on. Okay. I do Kundalini charts where I compare and contrast couples charts, and I can tell you exactly what your point scores are in all areas and provide remedial measures for you to work on as a couple. And what's really interesting is in order for a marriage to work, you have to be an 18.5 minimum. That's exactly what Jonathan and I are. So we've actually put a ton of work in the relationship to make it work, both in communication, in our emotions and things like that, because he's very fiery and I'm very watery. So that is just a way for you to just kind of find some peace there. And Jonathan, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Um, I would, Marianne, I would ask you to ask yourself that question. Do you see a long-term relationship with Anders, or do you just wish for a long-term relationship with someone who's loving and sensitive and kind and giving? Um, because the one may not be the other. You know, Michelle's pointed to the fact that I'm kind of more like a take out the sword and chop your way through the wall kind of guy. So I'm not the best to handle relationship questions, but I've worked in, with, and around a lot of women. Surprisingly, in my career, mother was a nurse, and I'd go to the hospital, and the nurses would crowd around me. Oh, look at Jonathan. I worked in a hospital for several years for other circumstances, and it was mostly female. And every single one of the women at one point or the other came up to me and said, "You're very respectful to all of us. We've noticed you're very respectful." And I thought, how is that unusual? You know, um, because apparently a lot of guys aren't. They're not respectful to women. So again, this is just me. This is not psychic. But uh, Marianne, do you see a long-term relationship with Anders? And if the answer is yes, do what you can to let him know that in a, you know, don't just walk up, bang, hi, you know. Chances are that you've already, you know, had some contact with this, maybe you've dated a few times, that sort of thing. You're considering a long-term relationship. What you want to find out is he also considering a long-term relationship, or is this just fun time, you know? Um, I'm not a relationship expert, but I tend to just go direct. Now, that said, some somebody else made the first move in our relationship for a number of reasons, but I was at least there and was plainly showing my affection. So, terribly incomplete answer. I wish that I was at least as good at Dr. Phil at getting bad advice. Looking for a long-term widower. Interesting. Are you, in fact, a long-term widower?
Or was he widowed? I'm getting that he was widowed, and so he's looking for a
Uh,
long term, but
yeah, the heart is difficult to
yeah,
predict.
that's what my guide said. He's widowed. Yeah.
Okay. Well, um, if I were on the other side of this, if there were a woman that I knew, I'm a widower, and if they came forward and showed me kindness and respect and, you know, some appropriate affection, I would welcome that. And he's going through a period of grief depending on when this happened. If it's recently, you want to just be sympathetic, but be there. And then gradually show your sympathy could turn into something different. And um, he's just lost something, something that probably meant a great deal to him. And he is just standing there. Whoa, sorry, I almost knocked my mic over. He's standing there alone when he didn't used to be standing there alone. And if you're right for him and he's right for you and you go into that space respectfully, you'll both find out. Respectfully is the key, not aggressively or energetically, or, you know, don't rush things because he might not be right for you, you know. That said, I take a long time to make up my mind. So,
So I'm going to go ahead and give you a mantra, sweetie, if you're open. And you can do this on Friday. Okay. And that'll attract more love into your heart space. Om Hrim Shrim Lakshmi Beyo Namaha. Om Hrim Shrim Lakshmi Beyo Namaha. Om Hrim Shrim Lakshmi Beyo Namaha. And you can do that on Venus Day, okay? And that can bring you some more heart-centered stuff. Oh, good. I'm so glad. And you're so welcome for the advice, Marianne. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing space with us. We consider it to be an honor to read for everyone in our audience. So thank you so much. And thank you, Morella. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you too, Harley. You guys are awesome. And Jessica, I do think that you're in the queue. So thank you for checking in. So our next question is Shayna. So will my grandmother get better? You need to go and visit her or call her because I got to know. Okay. You need to go see grandma. Let her know you love her. Okay. Whether it's a call on the phone or an email or however, or just visiting her, she's a little lonely and she needs to hear from you. Okay. Because I got the third house of communications. If she lives nearby, there's no reason not to go and visit and check in on her. Okay. The reason I say no is I got the victory card reversed. Okay, and then I got the empath reversed. So you're not going to be very happy with the outcome. Okay, so try not to get too overly emotional regarding your grandmother. Okay, know that, you know, we all arrive on earth with a plan. We have lessons to learn. And in the process of learning these lessons, most of us will encounter experiences that we label as bad. And that would be losing someone. Labeling and this duality that we carry within us is our so-called baggage. So don't allow this to become to become like that, because when we use these labels to direct our reactions, we can, whew, our life and experiences, they can be seen in a much lower energy vibration. Okay, so if we are looking at projecting some of these experiences in the future, some of the hurt and the anger that comes with grief, it can cause lower energy vibration in our future. So if you're able to try to integrate things into your life without labels, and you're free to remain in the present and experience and enjoy these moments with your grandmother for what they truly are. Um, and they're saying to let go of judgments or labels in the situation. They keep saying that. I don't know why, but you should know what that is. I did ask your guides and your grandmother's guides, because they are linked. You're in the same family. What is going on as far as like how you can deal with this coming? And I got the omens card. Okay, hawks are messengers. I got a hawk. I've been getting ospreys quite a bit lately. This is a very majestic bird. It flies high and it reaches the realms of spirit. So she's going to send you messages from both the seen and the unseen. Okay. Drawing this card speaks of focus and intuition. So this is a chance for you to develop your intuition in and around the spiritual realm, because you're going to have someone there. Focus on where you want to go. How high do you want to fly here? Because you might start or open up a new modality or practice. Pay attention to the serendipity in your life, finding a feather, uh, coins, seeing something that you like. I'm actually following the cutest little channel, and it's this little marmot called Poppy. And I got a thing in the mail from Poppy Bank the other day, and I just went, woohoo, because it's Poppy, this little this little critter. And I actually looked into like reallocating some things financially, because that was just a sign from spirit. Things like that. Okay. Um, when you see a hawk, someone's trying to get your attention. So that's why when I got the omens card, that's spirit trying to get your attention. So pay attention to those serendipities that I mentioned. Be glad, for this is a reminder that you're living in the flow of energy and that things are going to shift for you. Okay, so it's a no, unfortunately. So I'm sending you lots of love. Definitely visit grandma, give her a call, let her know you love her. Okay, um, and be there for her during this time. Okay, and I'm sending you lots of love, Shayna, as you go through this as well. And know that those omens and those signs are there to comfort you and to love you. Okay. And yeah, Morella's sending you some love from the YouTube channel, okay? And we're both sending you love as you go through this, okay? I lost my grandmother to lung cancer, and it was one of the hardest things I had to go through. So I know how heartbreaking it can be, and so I'm going to give you just a big virtual hug as you deal with this energy, okay, Shayna? Do you have any advice that you would like to give her, Jonathan?
Yes, somebody gave me some really good advice when my mother was passing away, and I was living in this area, and she was still living in Arkansas, and so I was going to make a trip to Arkansas. And I happened to mention to a coworker, and we were, friends, but we didn't really hang out or spend much time together. I respected her skills at work, and she respected mine, and that was, a working relationship. And she said, "Oh, I see that you're taking a week off." I wasn't known for taking holidays. And she said, "You're taking a week off. Are you going, have fun someplace?" And I said, "Well, actually, no. My mother's terminal. I want to go, be there, for a little bit." And she literally sat me down and said, "You need to share some time and some space." She had lost her entire family one at a time. She said, "Go to wherever you need to go, do whatever you need to do. Sit down and spend time with them. Doesn't matter if she's unconscious. She knows you're there. Spend some time with her. Now, you may not be able to get to where your grandmother is, but you close your eyes and she's there. You can tell her, you can spend time with her. If you can get into her presence, do that. If not, bring her into your presence and spend some time with her." And it made things immeasurably easier for me. So I hope that's some help.
Okay, sweetie, we are sending you tons of love as you go through that. And the audience is sending you a lot of love too, okay? And hi, Sherry. It's good to see you, sweetie. Okay, good to see you, Lalima. All right. So you're welcome, Shayna. And again, yeah, just come back and let us know how you're doing, okay? You're not in this alone. All right. Okay, so I did see that Jessica Lynn came in, so I'll get to your question. Before I do that, I'm going to do a roll call. Is Chel P here? I think I did see you earlier. Is Nanette Hernandez here? And is Harley still here? Let us know, and we will get to you three next. Okay, so let me find your question, Miss Jessica. Thank you for coming and checking in. May I have a general message from my guides of time? Of course. So I got three karma cards for you, Jessica. I got the sun in Aquarius, and then I also got Scorpio. Now, this is really interesting for me because my moon moves from Aquarius to Scorpio in my Rashi to my Navamsha. So what this tells me is your guides are going to start helping you shift your ego for a more analytical and intellectual perspective to a more intuitive one. So your ego is going to be more of a detective and less of a programmer, so to speak. And so I asked, what's coming Jessica Lynn's way, where she'll have to start diving less into just focusing more on her intuition, the things that are hidden from her life. And I got that they're going to be working with you on some forgiveness work. So I got the sun and the moon here. Okay. It's been said that forgiveness is the greatest gift that we can give ourselves. Okay, Jessica, forgiveness to others, but also forgiveness of ourselves. Because when someone does something against us, that's usually some kind of karmic debt or something that we could have seen coming that we needed to practice either more boundaries or more discernment regarding. So if you're the most critical and judgmental of yourself, know that that inner critic is doing more harm than criticism when it comes to others. Okay, so forgive yourself for trusting others and getting hurt, for not knowing, for not seeing, for not believing. You are human, you are growing, you are learning just like us. Okay. Um, yeah, human perfection is rooted in imperfection. Okay, that's part of the path of getting to know our truest self, which is that beautiful inner Atman. So this card indicates that a need for forgiveness in your life at this time, and your guides are going to be working with you in that area. So I'm kind of excited to see what Jonathan says about this.
You need to listen to your guides, is what I'm feeling. Again, I'm not the family psychic, but um, my sense is that they're trying to reach you, and there's a block. Maybe you don't like the feeling that you're getting, or you know, but I get a sense that you're blocked, and it's not them. You're maybe, again, this is a very, very general question, but um, what I take from this is you're looking for advice. We're all looking for advice. We're all just walking each other home. Uh, you need to spend some quiet time and listen. If you listen, you'll get the message. You can't get this while you're driving, Jessica. You have to sit down, quiet yourself, and listen. Actively listen to the silence. And that's where the message comes from. That's where they leave. That's where they write. That's the wall they write on, is in the silence of our presence. Hope that's of
And
some help.
And Jonathan claims not to be a psychic, and he does that every day, and he gets messages from spirit after our mantra practice. So he is, I think, a better psychic than me because I actually need cards and he doesn't. So you're selling yourself short again. Um, yeah. So I hope that was helpful, Jessica. We're sending you lots of love. Unforgiveness or needing to forgive yourself for a mistake is a major heart block. So that might be something you might want to do some work with your guides when you're sitting in that quiet space and allow that to happen. I've been doing that quite a bit since my own betrayal a while ago. Okay. Whew. And we're going to go a little bit into what that betrayal looks like in the tomorrow's show, so you guys get in how we're navigating it. All right. So I hope that was helpful, sweetie. Thanks for coming back. Appreciate you. All right. So let's go down the list. Harley is here. You checked in. Thank you, Miss Harley. All right. So after Harley, I don't have anyone else. So I'm going to go through the list one more time. We've got Nivra. We've got Who Are You? We've got Tara La Spina. Let's see. We have Keith KJ Jones. We have Karen Lucavetti. We have Chelpy. We have Nanette. And we have the lovely Harley that checked in. So we're going to go ahead and do Harley. And if anyone else checks in, we will get to your question. So thank you so much. And thank you for constantly showing the boomer mill, Jackie. I really appreciate that. We're trying to get subscribers. Okay, so Harley, your guides are working with you when it comes to relationships and how you interact with people. And the first house is all about, it's Aries. It's how we shine in the world. It's our energy. The seventh house is ruled by Libra or Venus. So it's how you approach relationships, how you get along with people. And so I picked this up and I got, oh my goodness, oh wait, both of our mics are on, one sec. Okay, so what I got when I pulled this was, I want it all, I want it all, and I want it now. That was the song that came into my head. Okay, so how often do you feel you want things to change in your life? And I got now, 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 now. So I went to my shamanic healing oracle and I got the divine timing card. So right now, this instant, seldom do we see the full picture of why our lives are unfolding in the way that they are. We don't need to. Okay, Harley, what we do need to do is just surrender to the way that they are right now. Okay, this doesn't mean not to take action when the situation can be a little unstable at times, but what it means is that when it comes to what it means is to let your life unfold. Before you do so, you have to access all the information first. So you tend to be a little impulsive. Okay, that's what they're showing me. Think about the information, the lessons, the people that you're going to interact with, where you're headed. Really play the tape in your head before jumping into a situation, because you do seem to be a bit of a party starter, which is fabulous. I love that about your personality. But take a step back and look at the whole situation a little bit more, with a little bit more detail before just jumping in. Okay. Divine timing is at work in your life right now, Harley. So try not to fight it. Instead, go within during meditation and ask questions that you want answers to, like, why not now? Right? How can I best prepare myself for this? What lessons do I need to learn prior to the change that I want to see in my life? And you're going to get the answers, okay? But you just need to spend some time in that meditative state and try not to do things right away. I tend to be, even though I have more water in my chart, when it comes to trying out new things, I tend to just jump in because I was raised in an environment where I had to do that. Jonathan is very slow and very methodical when it comes to his thought processes and how he thinks about things. So I know he's going to give you really good advice. And she says, changes are needed. I understand what you're saying. Yes, more with the mind and less with the heart. Okay, so you're working more on your intellect and less on the intuition so you can balance your heart and your headspace. Very cool. So they can help you with that. And I love that there's the eye and the two birds here, because the two birds are talking to each other and the intuition is the eye, right? So it's, yeah. So I'm going to let Jonathan go and see what's going on. I did see Who Are You? We will go ahead and do you next. I did call you and you weren't here, so we'll go ahead and do you next. Okay, thank you for checking in.
Uh, yeah, Harley. You can't just feel. You have to think about what you're feeling. And you can say this at any point in anybody's life over any time. If you just feel, you're going to put yourself at risk. Not just to feel bad, but you have to use your intellect and temper it with your feelings. But that said, I've always been sort of, I've gotten advance warning with my feelings about things, that I would just feel weird about something that shouldn't feel weird, and then I check into it and go, "Oh my God, this didn't appear on the surface, and I never would have looked into it otherwise." But thank God I got that little tingle. So should you pay attention to your feelings? Yes, but they should not lead the parade. You know, just like your heart. You should be in touch with your heart, but you should not let your heart lead you. So you have your feelings, your heart, and your intellect, and you know that triumvirate needs to hold meetings regularly. Let your intellect be the chair, so that each can speak in turn, but listen to all those things. Rarely are you going to get a unanimous decision with those. But there are times when the intellect is more critical in a process than the heart, and there are times when the heart is more critical in the process, and sometimes everybody gets a vote. So opening yourself up to access all of those areas is the talent. That's the skill. That's the blessing, and that's a happy life. Hope that helps.
Oh, thank you, honey. All right, Harley. Yeah, finding that balance. We're finding that balance with each other just through counseling because we have very different ways of communicating with each other. And thank you, Jackie, for your help in the chat. We really appreciate you. You too, Morella. You guys are the best. Okay, so who are you? Thank you for checking in. Can I see a change that's coming in my career? Yes, there is a change coming, and it's good stuff. Yay! I love it when I pick good cards. So the first thing I got for you, who are you, is I got the Two of Shells. So if you're thinking about a business partnership or working with someone, this is the same as the Two of Cups. It's supported right now. You have someone in and around your environment that is a really good vibration to work with. This could be like a business partner or someone like, this is my card for Jonathan and I, and we work together. Great energy. Okay. And this is an emotional energy too, which is pretty cool. And then I got that it's going to come really fast because I got the Eight of Roses. It's the same as the Eight of Wands. This tells me that what you're putting back into your job is going to come back to you in a very positive way. So there's going to be some kind of initiation that's really great. It's going to be improved via they're showing me an email or some kind of communication that's coming your way. So you're going to be feeling very tuned in to this new position that we're looking at and to this person and this business partner that I see coming your way. So pay attention to the signs and symbols, including their body language, as they're as important as words, and make plans now, not later, because stuff is happening quickly. And you're going to be able to follow your bliss with this upcoming project. I normally get really negative cards when it comes to stuff that I have to breathe through. These are good. Okay. Once you kind of step into this, I did get the Four of Wings. Now, this is a bit of a maybe card. So you have to avoid negative confrontations with each other. You have to take breaks. Okay. If there's any issues or conflicts or distractions, you have to rid yourself of stress and anxiety before addressing them. Okay. Because the Four of Swords is a reminder to take out rest, especially mental rest when it comes to our projects and our goals. And I have a feeling that when you listen to your inner voice, you're going to come from a much better place when it comes to your partnerships and when it comes to work. So learn who you are now and with whom you've chosen to be involved with regarding work, and really pay attention to the environment in and around you and making sure that it is a healing place and that there's some healing and gentle energy in and around that area. Okay, because that's important for you to have in the workplace. They're saying quiet, healing, gentle, spiritual. Okay, those are the words they just gave me. So remember, there's a lot of pressures or demands from this job. I think that's the reason they told me to do that. But it's looking good. There's something great's coming. I love it when I get good cards for that. Did you pick up anything, Jonathan?
I got a glimmer of what you were saying, so I'll second that. Some
All
good.
right, sounds good. We've been here 3 hours, guys. So we greatly appreciate you spending time with us. Thank you for checking in, everybody. You're so welcome, Harley. And thank you for Morella. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you for just hanging out with us today. Thank you, everyone in the audience. You guys have been fantastic. Jonathan and I will be premiering the Boomer Mill tomorrow at 5 o'clock on only the Boomer Mill, not my channel. I'm here to basically promote him today and our new show. It's going to be based off of millennial and boomer topics, and all the generations are invited to contribute in the chat and as well as email us with ideas because we want this to be a really fun, integrative social community based in unity and not division because I feel like the media is doing a lot of that right now. So, um, yeah, so we really appreciate anything. Is there anything you would like to say on the way out, Jonathan?
It's interesting being on camera. I've been behind the scenes for several years now, stomping on trolls and the usual housekeeping stuff. So it's oh, thanks, Jackie. It's harder than I thought, and I already thought it was hard. And again, I'm not a psychic. I don't pretend to be a psychic. I'm just a guy who kind of feels stuff, you know.
It's in your chart, honey.
Okay.
And I live with you. You do psychic stuff all the time.
Well, I guess if you do psychic stuff, it doesn't seem like psychic stuff, It's just Thursday, right?
All right. So, oh, thank you for popping in. This is the other Jonathan Jonathan. So, there he is. And marathons are fun. We love attending Scott's. We usually just have them in the background because they can go on for hours. So, yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much, guys. And please, if you haven't already, the Boomer Mill, it's right down here in the description. So go, please, please, please subscribe. That is the main reason we're doing the show with Jonathan today, is so that he can do that. His website is theboomermill.live, and you can see our little logo up there, the Boomer Mill. So, oh, thank you, Morella. I really enjoyed having you here too. And he said, "You did wonderfully, Jonathan. Thank you so much, Harley. You're the sweetest." And yeah, so without ado, I'm here every single Wednesday, guys. We're gonna have Arthur Ease Your Mind on next week, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. And I have a lot of shorts prepared for the next week if you're interested in learning about what's coming for us astrologically and what we can expect. And I just want to, again, thank you all for being here and sharing your energy with us. And we're sending you all love. So we hope to see you tomorrow for the premiere. We're going to be in the chat there with you. Okay? It's at 5 o'clock Pacific. So thank you all so much for joining us. Take care.